Good morning, Raptor Freaks. Lexi Outs here, and we've got a old school throwback today. We haven't done any of these in the whole entire season. We have not had a Tuesday trivia yet because it's just been a busy season. Lots of games, lots of previews and reactions. And when we have 2 days off, we go to off-season schedule. And well, 2 days off, coming back from the West Coast road trip. And well, we're doing Tuesday trivia today. And well, you can see who the subject is on today. It's his birthday later this week. So I figure we celebrate the Raptors champion that is Marc Gasol. And so we'll be doing classic Jurassic Tuesday trivia. Yeah, the regulars in this channel for many years now know exactly what's about to go down. But if you're newer, you'll catch up to speed pretty quick, I'm sure. I guess all my questions will be worth about 200 points today, guys. And well, you can pick up a lot of trivia points in our Raptor Freak trivia standings on a day like today. Normally we're getting them just through the classic card these days. But when we do play regular trivia, I mean, there's 17 questions, at least 200 points for each question. You do the math. You could pick up like 3,000 points today if you do your stuff right. That's right. That's what this is. That's right. We'll have to see if Amit the Goat shows up. And this isn't just the only one. We're going to be doing a month of this. So this Tuesday and for the next 3 Tuesdays after this, we're going to be doing Tuesday trivia every week. So be ready on Tuesdays with your trivia hat. And I know that I see Adriana is here, our commissioner of trivia. Adriana is in the house to adjudicate and make big decisions on rulings with the trivia stuff. The rules are as such: full name answers, just like with the classic card. Make sure that you write the full name answer. And if there's a junior or a third or something like that that needs to be on there, do it just to be careful. And first person who writes in the answers in the trivia is basically like the buzzer. You get that in there on the timestamp ahead of the other people, you get the answer. So Adriana will be judging on whether she sees your answer in there before other answers, and also she'll be judging on halfway. Well, is that right? What do you think, Commissioner of Fun or Commissioner of Trivia, Adriana? What do you think should be the ruling? And that's what we do here. So let me go ahead and read y'all's comments real quick, and we'll go right into it. Isaac's got the starting five of Lex on blast on his comment. We're going to react to the 905's loss last night after the trivia game, so stick around for that. Fiercey is saying good morning, fam, and happy trivia day. Yay! Our current trivia leader for this season is Fiercey Salsera, and she has a pretty darn good lead, and it's from days like today. She is Fast Fingers Fiercey, and she is the #1 contender for a classic Jurassic Tuesday trivia, Marc Gasol. Oh, yeah, she is. She's the #1 contender. Just watch how she does it. Adriana's all about it, and Fiercey knows it's girl power. That's right. There's girl power that happens on Tuesday trivias. That's right. That's right. Laugh out loud. Yeah, wink, wink. Yeah, we'll see how that goes. Fiercey saying so much to talk about today. Lots of nice accolades yesterday and interesting debates. Yeah, Amit coming in 3, 2, 1. I don't know. Well, let's go ahead and start then. I mean, I'm not messing around. Let's go ahead and start. People know how this is. All right, first questions first, guys. Let me get my glasses so I can read the questions. All right, I wrote this trivia yesterday. All right, guys, first question. First person to write the full name answer or the answer gets the points, 200 points. What is Marc Gasol's other name? Middle name, I guess. What is his middle name? This is always the historic classic Jurassic question. What is Marc Gasol's middle name? Yeah, this is where you know this is tough. PhD level Raptors trivia. Who the hell knows Marc Gasol's middle name? Like, if you're a Raptor fan and you know that, you're a real one. Seriously. If you just know his name, middle name off the top of your head, it's kind of like the Hernan Gomez. The Hernan Gomez, they have a second last name that is their mother's last name. And that is the way we go. Alejandro Naco the Nacho has entered the chat, and he is saying Alejandro. No, sorry, Lady Gaga. It is not Alejandro. Alejandro. That is not what I was looking for, Gerald. I apologize. No, it's like, Willie Hernan Gomez and uh, uh, Hernan Gomez that was on our team, Wancho. They have their mother's name on their jersey also, and sometimes they wear it instead of the Hernan Gomez, and it's Error or something like that. So it'll be Willie Error. Well, what is the I guess the female the his mother's maiden name is what we're looking for here. Yeah, Gasol is his last name. It's his father's last name, but he has his mother's last name in there too sometimes. So if you can find this, guys, uh, Fiercey saying Sale, Sale. It's kind of what it is. It's kind of what it is. You're one letter off. You're one letter off. You've pretty much got it. What I'm looking for. It's just one letter off. Let's see if somebody can seagull her. It's one letter off. She's almost there. I want to get the exact thing I wrote right here. And I'm pretty sure this is his mother's last name that he carries forward with him. I think it's the way Spanish people do it in Spain. Sel, like salt. No, it's not that. It's one letter off of Fiercey. She's got one letter incorrect. She just needs to switch. You're taking an A out of there. Sal, like some old Italian guy's name, Sal. Hey, Sal, how you doing? Seal, like the singer. You don't go crazy, crazy. We're never gonna survive unless we get a little crazy, crazy. Yeah, no, it's not right. You guys aren't right yet. You ain't getting it yet. I'm demanding perfection here. And well, we're close. The closest answer was Fiercey's first answer. It's just one letter is wrong. Raptors Champs is here. Good morning, Raptors Freaks and Champs. Good morning to you, sir. We are celebrating a champion this morning of the Raptors 2019. There's 4 letters. That's right. Adriana's helping you all out. CL. SIEL. Siel. It's close. It's close. You're one letter off still. Then you switched one of the wrong letters. You switched one of the wrong letters, Nako. Yeah. I mean, there's a place to find this. You guys trying to do this off the top of your head? You know where to find this. There we go. Fiercey found it. That's right, Fiercey. Fiercey knows where to look. That's right. That's why she's fast fingers. It's Saez. Saez. I believe that's his mother's last name. And that's what I was looking for. Saez. 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 Marc Saez. Marc Saez. Yeah, Paul Saez. What is Marc Gasol's nickname when he's in Spain? Like after he retired from the NBA, he went to Spain and played some basketball. What do they call him over there? What is his nickname in Spain playing basketball? Yeah, this is classic Jurassic Tuesday trivia on the Raptor Freak channel. You guys get to see the game show. The when we do this, it's fun. You guys will learn about Raptor, a player, and today we're doing Marc Gasol. Seeing as Marc Gasol's birthday is later this week, he will be turning 51, I believe, this week. Something like that. It's something like that. Is it 51 or is it 41? It's something like that. He's got a birthday this week though. The Big Burrito. That's not his nickname in Spain. What is his nickname in Spain? It's a Spanish word. Spanish. It's not in English. So that's what I'm looking for. I know I'm hitting you guys hard right off the bat. We're out of practice. We haven't done this in 6 months or something. Like Largo burrito. Fiercey's funny. Fiercey's funny. No, that's not it. That's not it. That's not it. This may be tough. I should have realized this. Some of these questions may be a little bit tougher. You guys don't have your research caps on there. Bid Spain, like Big Spain. No, this nickname doesn't really have anything in it with the word big in it. A lot of Marc Gasol's nicknames as a player have the word big in it, but not this one. Not this one. Yeah, this is his Spanish nickname. What is Marc Gasol's Spanish nickname? Yeah, we going PhD level here. You know your Raptors. Well, how well do you know Marc Gasol? We're going to find out today because we're doing PhD level trivia dive on him. What is his Spanish nickname? He competed over in Spain after the Lakers, went over there. Listen, Fiercey, you know the way we do this. I say you guys try and do it off the top of your head, but I know that y'all, listen, this trivia is too hard for y'all to know it all off the top of your head. So I know that y'all can research. Yes, If it's going too long, yeah, go ahead. I say this. If you know it off the top of your head, put it in. And if you don't, go ahead and look it and try and find it. Yeah, there she goes. La Tanqueta. La Tanqueta is right. That is his Spanish nickname. And I believe that's the word tank in Spanish. La Tanqueta. La Tanqueta. Yes, La Tanqueta. La Tanqueta. La Tanqueta. That's it. Yeah, it fits him. La Tanqueta. The tank. Yeah. All right, let's keep going. How many times did Marc Gasol make the NBA All-Star team, guys? How many times? Now, some of these, try and do them off the top of your head first. If you get the answer wrong, you don't get buzzed out like on Jeopardy. You can go ahead and keep answering. 4 times? You think he was an All-Star 4 times, Nako? And Fiercey says 3. It is 3. He was an All-Star 3 times in his career. That's pretty good, honestly, guys. Being a 3-time All-Star is a bona fide All-Star. You could say if somebody makes the All-Star team once, it's kind of a flash in the pan. Like, oh, I'm a 1-time All-Star. Well, you're technically an All-Star, and you get that moniker. But if you get there like 2 or 3 times, you're a little bit more bona fide, right? A little bit more bona fide. So, yeah, Marc Gasol, 3-time NBA All-Star. All right, guys. What is Marc Gasol's career high in an NBA game for his whole entire career? What is the most points that Marc Gasol ever scored in a single NBA game? What is the most points he ever scored in a single NBA? Yeah, what's the most points, Fiercey? Scotty will be 3. Scotty will be 3. Yeah, well, he'll be 2. He'll be 2. He's only made it once, Fiercey. 37? No, it's not 37. That's too low. That is too low for Marc Gasol. Yeah, Scotty soon will be 2 All-Stars. Scotty's only been All-Star once, unfortunately. Yeah, 48 is too high. Now you've gone too high. You've overshot. So we've got our window of numbers where it is. It seems like this is Nako versus Fiercey in the trivia so far, which is okay. They showed up and they are here. 44 is too high. 44 is too high for his career high in points. What is the most Marc Gasol ever scored in a single NBA game, guys? That is the question. 37. Nako, that's what she said already. And she was wrong. It's too low. 35 is too low. These are too low. It's between 37 and 44. 41 is too low. Yeah, we're getting closer. 39, 40. Kespra says 40. No, how many points did Marc Gasol score? The most he ever scored in an NBA game. 42 is right. Nako got there just before Fiercey. So Nako the Nacho's on the board with his first 200 of the trivia for today. 42 points is the career high of Marc Gasol in his NBA career. What team did he do that against, guys? Full name answer. I want the team and the name. What team did Marc score the 42 against in his NBA career high? His best game ever as a player, 42 points. What team did he score that against? Memphis Grizzlies? No, he didn't score it against the Memphis Grizzlies. Good guess, Kesper. I love that you're involved. Atlanta Hawks is not right. Lakers, come on, you're half-assing. It's Los Angeles Lakers. Kespra, full name answer, please. I'm saying I want both of them. Toronto Raptors is right. Kespra's going to get it. Marc Gasol scored his career high of 42 while he was on the Memphis Grizzlies against the Toronto Raptors. That's right. He scored 42 against us. All right, let's keep going. Moving on along with our Marc Gasol Tuesday trivia this morning. What team is Marc Gasol currently the president of right now? What team is Marc Gasol the current president of right this second? This is his job right this second and right now in his life. What is his team? Barcelona. Nako, that is wrong. Barcelona FC. That is wrong. That is not the right team. That is not the right team. This is a team that he played for just before he retired from active playing as a player. He played for this team, and then he moved right into the front office and became the president of this team. Yeah. The way this works is if you know it off the top of your head, put it in here, but people are going to research. I can't control this. People will be doing little searches. And sometimes being a fast fingers researcher will get you these points fast. So, yeah, what team is Marc Gasol currently the president of right now? That's right. And it is a team in Spain. You guys are in the right area. It's just that you don't have the right name yet. It's not Barcelona club. It's not Barcelona. No, it's not. That's a big one. The Barcelona team's very, very big. And for him to be the president of that, that would be a huge deal. Huge, huge deal. It is a big deal what he's doing still, of course. Yeah, no answers on here. I can only BS for so long. What is Marc Gasol's current? Yeah, there we go. Fiercey jumped in there and got it. Basket Girona is the right answer. That is the team that he is president of currently over in Spain. And he is living there too. He's living in Spain. He's living as a Spanish man after his NBA life in his home country as the president of Basket Girona. Girona. Real Madrid? No, not Real Madrid. No. All right, guys. Next question. Question number 6. Marc Gasol, classic Jurassic Tuesday trivia. How many triple doubles did Marc Gasol get his entire NBA career? How many triple doubles did Marc Gasol get in his entire NBA career? 12? You think he had 12? You see, that's too high. That's too high. He did not have 12 triple doubles. 10. Kesper's saying 10. No, it's too high. 7's too high, Nako. It's too high also. Yeah, we're going to figure this out. And it'll show you just, how special it is. Seymour's got it. It's 5. Seymour Pape, the sheriff, jumping in and saying, Marc Gasol's got 5 triple doubles, Lex. And I'm going to take this one. You're right. You're just in there ahead of Nako, according to my screen. Adriana, Commissioner. Maybe you could adjudicate on this. The city slicker, Seymour Pape, is just ahead of our friend Gerald Nako the Nacho on that one. Just ahead, I believe. Adriana, if you could give me an official word, if you are available at the moment. That's right. It's just because it's close. Yes, I'm correct. Thank you, Commissioner of Trivia, Adriana. She is the impartial one here. That's right. I'm partial, I guess. I'm not. I don't know. I'm trying to be fair. All right. Next question, guys. Number 7. How many games, regular season and playoffs, did Marc Gasol play for the Toronto Raptors? How many games total did Marc Gasol play for the Toronto Raptors in his career from the playoffs and the postseason? Yeah, what is it? Salute to you, Seymour. Salute to you, sir, jumping in and getting a trivia question right off the bat on Marc Gasol Classic Jurassic Tuesday trivia. That's right. We celebrate our champions, like Raptors champions. And, it's Marc's birthday this week. So we're going to go ahead and say happy birthday, Marc, a little early and give him the Classic Jurassic treatment. That's right. We had not seen Marc Gasol in the Classic Jurassic yet. 110? That's close, Seymour. It's too high. It's close. It's very, very close. 110 games as a Raptor, it's close. That's a too high answer, though. 92 is too low, Fiercey. Is too low. We're adding both the regular season to the playoffs. And how many would it be? 100 games. Did we get 100 games of Marc Gasol, Kespera? That is too low. We had a few more, so we know it's between 100 and 110, the answer right now. So we'll see who gets the right one, baby. That's right. Kespera's going to get it. He went and got it there. It's 105 is the right answer. Kespera on the board for the second time today. This is the breakdown of it. 70 regular season games over 1.5 seasons, and then 35 playoff games. So if you think about it, Marc Gasol played a third of his games in a Raptor jersey in a playoff game, which is pretty fantastic if you think about it. That's a pretty high percentage, considering, playoffs, you could get in there and get swept and only get 4 games. So Marc Gasol played 35 playoff games for the Raptors during the championship run and the bubble playoffs where we played and OG hit the big shot against Boston. So, yeah, that's pretty cool, eh? 105 total, 70 regular season games, and 35 playoff games. And that's the legend Marc Gasol in the Raptors jersey. That's right. That's right. Kespera, good job, man. All right, next question. What medals does Marc Gasol have from the Olympics? What are his Olympic medals? What is his medal count for his Olympic career? Yeah, let's see. He was the most drunk at the parade. Laugh out loud. Well deserved. Okay, Seymour. Don't bust up my future questions. No, I'm just kidding. You'll see if that is a question down the road. It might be gold, silver, and bronze. So Fiercey's just saying he got one of each. He got a little sample platter. He got the gold, he got the silver, he got the bronze. That's wrong. That is not his medal count for his Olympic career for Spain. Yeah, gold for sure. Gold for sure. You think he won a gold, Seymour? Okay, that's wrong. That is not right. He won one gold. That is not his medal count. Fiercey's saying 12. 12. What is the breakdown there? When we do a medal count, you got to tell me like 5 gold, 3 silver, 8 bronze, something like that. That's what I want. 12 medals. Holy hell. Whoa. That means he played 12 times 4, like 48 years, because you can only get an Olympic medal every 4 years. So there's got to be a certain level of how many he's got. 12 medals is a lot. 12 medals is a lot. I'm not talking about World Cup. I'm not talking about FIBA action and other places. We're talking strolly and strictly Olympics. What is his Olympic medal count? Marc Gasol. What did he accomplish in his international FIBA career? 1 gold, 2 silver, and 1 bronze? You got part of this right, but it's not exactly right. Skywalking, good morning to you, man. He's saying 6. Just 6. 6 medals. No, that's not right either. Fiercey's the closest with her last answer. It's just a little bit too much on there. A little bit too much. She's got it half right. Let's just put it that way. She's got it half right. Half right, Fiercey, on your last answer. It's half right. Too much. That's 4 cycles right there. He did not medal in 4 cycles of the Olympics. So it's too much. Yeah, this is a tough question. We're going to get to know Marc Gasol a little bit better today. Seymour got it. He's got 2 silvers. That's it. He won the silver medal in basketball twice with Spain. So he has 2 silver medals in his Olympic career. 2 silvers. That's right. USA getting those golds. I don't know why y'all think he's getting golds everywhere. We know USA's getting golds unless it's Manu Ginobili at Argentina. They got the only gold in the modern era other than the United States. So yeah, they were silvers, 2 silvers for Spain underneath there. Nice. Yeah, pretty good. Pretty good. All right, next question, guys. We know some of the questions that we do in classic Jurassic trivia, the template that I use. You guys know some of these questions are coming because you've played so many classic Jurassics with so many great Raptors in the past. We're just doing Marc Gasol today. All right, guys. What former Raptors, then they have to be Raptors, they have to have been Raptors, played the most games as a teammate of Marc Gasol over his entire career, not just when he was on the Raptors? What former Raptors, top 5, played the most games as a teammate of Marc Gasol in his career in the NBA? What are the 5? They have to have been Raptors at some point for them to be considered former Raptors. So, yeah, start naming full name answers of Raptors that you think are there. Kyle Lowry is on the list, Fiercey. He is number 3. He played the 3rd most games with Marc Gasol between the Raptors and the Grizzlies. That's right, because he played on the Grizzlies with them before they were together on the Raptors. Fred VanVleet is not on this list. Fred VanVleet is not on this list. Yeah, Seymour saying Spain didn't beat USA one year. No, Spain didn't beat them. Argentina beat the USA. And that's why I said Manu Ginobili and Luis Scola beat the USA when that was like 2004, I believe, is when it was. Fred VanVleet is not an answer. Kawhi Leonard is not an answer. Both of them did not play the top 5 games as a former Raptor alongside Marc Gasol. You got to think about, where did Marc Gasol play pretty much his whole entire career? Pretty much. Think about that. Danny Green is not on this list. Pascal is, though. Seymour's going to get Pascal. Pascal has the 5th most games as a former Raptor playing alongside Marc Gasol. Now, he didn't play with anybody with him on another team. He just played every single game that Marc played. Pascal was present. So he has the 5th most number. Vince Carter is on this list, Caspera. Vince Carter is number 2. He played the 2nd most games with Marc Gasol in Memphis, of course. So, yeah, Vince Carter is number 2 on this list. So we've got 3 of the names on this list out of the 5. Vince Carter, number 2, Kyle Lowry, number 3, and Pascal is number 5, but we don't have number 1 or number 4 on this list yet. So let's see if you guys keep answering. Lowry is on the list. He's already guessed Seymour. Norman Powell is on this list. Fiercely's going to get number 4. Norman is number 4. And the reason why Norman is higher on this list is because he did play with Marc on the Clippers, I believe, slightly or briefly for a little while. So he got some extra games with Marc on the Clippers. So, yeah, Norman Powell is number 4 on this list. OG is not on this list, Seymour. We still don't have the number one name on this list. And this person played a lot of games with Marc Gasol in Memphis. And yeah, that is a good guess, person right there. Burns, good morning, man. Good to see you back in the chat. Mo Pete? No, it's not Mo Pete. That's a fantastic guess. It is a great guess. Morris Peterson, the Iron Man, number 24. No, this guy, he played for the Raptors and he got traded. And he played with Marc for a long time after that. He played for a long time after that. Kessler, Sam, Kyle Lowry, Vince Carter, Pascal, Norman, and Tracy McGrady. No, it's not McGrady. That's a good guess. That's a good guess. You guys got to think about Marc Gasol is a Grizzly pretty much, right? So it's somebody who played with him a lot on the Grizzlies that's a former Raptor. That's why you got Vince Carter. So you got to think about what would this be? In some ways, this is somebody that we don't celebrate on this channel. Let's just put it that way. He's somebody who's not in good standing as a Raptors alumni. So, yeah, that's what I would say about the last answer on this list. The former Raptor that played the most games with Marc Gasol in his career in Memphis, of course, because that's where Marc played most of his career, was as a Memphis Grizzly. Rudy Gay is exactly right. Yeah, it's Rudy Gay. Rudy Gay played the most games with Marc Gasol out of all the former Raptors. Vince Carter's second. Yeah, Jonas got traded for him, so they missed each other at like ships in the night. Like ships in the night. Yeah, Kessler was putting even more names in there. Del Curry. No, there you go. Rudy Gay was the right answer. That's right, Rudy Gay. You almost put Goran in. Ooh, God forbid. It's only because I said he wasn't somebody we liked, right? All right, on the flip side of this, we talked about teammates. Let's talk about opponents. What players, I'm going to say top three, played the most games in their career, in Marc Gasol's career against him? Who lined up against him on the other side the most over his lifespan of a career at that time? Who was there? LeBron James is a great guess. We got a player his team on this list at number 2, but it is not LeBron. It is not LeBron. DeMar DeRozan is not right either. No, it's not. But I'll give you guys some guesses on this to help you, because this is a little bit of a tough question. You guys are kind of just throwing darts at a blind wall. What top 3 players played the most games as an opponent against Marc Gasol over his NBA career? They were in the most games against him. And a player of the caliber of LeBron James is number 2 on the list. And he's one of these guys that we talk about. Well, he probably go off in the sunset around the same time as LeBron James, because they're both still playing. In fact, all 3 of the players on here, actually, no, they're not. 2 of the players are not playing anymore. One of them is, but 2 of them have retired, and they are not playing anymore. Chris Bosh, DeMar DeRozan, Dwayne Wade, these are all wrong. But Dwayne Wade is a good guess compared to this. Pau Gasol, that's a fantastic guess, but he is not one of the top 3 opponents of Marc Gasol in his career. Russell Westbrook's a fantastic guess. You're close. You're getting even closer with that one, Fiercey, with the name that leads from LeBron to Russell to. Yeah. Chris Paul is not right. Mr. Roger Raymond, salute to you. Thank you for supporting the channel. Chris Paul is a great guess, though. Kobe Bryant. Yeah, that's a good guess. It's not Kobe. It's not Kobe. Carmelo Anthony, another interesting guess. It's not right. Kevin Durant is who I was looking for. Kevin Durant is second on the list. He played the second most games against Marc Gasol. It was Kevin Durant I was looking for. The other 2 guys, one of them is a part of a very important dynasty from the 2000s into the 2010s. And one of them played as recently on the Denver Nuggets, I believe, but he was more well known for playing in the city of Los Angeles. So I think that those clues, like, so the number 1 guy on this list played. He's more well known for playing in Los Angeles, but I think the last team he was on was the Denver Nuggets, and maybe he's retired at this point. I'm not totally sure. Let's see. Yeah. 3 people put KD. Lex. Okay. Well, who wrote it first, Adriana? I want to say who wrote in first. Adriana, judgment, please, on Kevin Durant. Who was written Kevin Durant first? It looks like it's Fiercey. Yeah. Adriana's confirmed that the points for Kevin Durant are Fiercey's. So, yeah, that's the trivia commissioner making the judgment. All right. So the first person on this list was a part of Will Barton's a great guess. It's not right. It was a part of a team with Chris Paul, and then he was on the Nuggets more recently, and I think he's retired now. He may not be around anymore. Yeah, Kesper's saying, "No, it was me." Sorry, the judge is Adriana, and sometimes that's why we do this. Is because on your screen it may look like you got in there before her. So yeah, yeah. Adriana is the judge. She makes the official call. Caldwell Pope. Kentavious Caldwell Pope? No, that's a good guess. Jeff Green. Jeff Green is not right either. Nope, nope. This guy's a center. Let's just say that. This guy is number one on this list is center. Is a center. Yeah, yeah. Good guess, man. Robert Ory. Robert Ory. Good guess, Roger Raymond. It's not Robert Ory. As I said, this guy is well known for playing in L.A. With Chris Paul, and then he was near the end of his career. He was on the Denver Nuggets, is what I remember. I think Timothy Mozgov. Wow, that's digging deep right there, Seymour. Was that guy even in the league long enough to have the most games against Marc Gasol? Paul Millsap. That's not a bad guess. That's an interesting one. No, this guy's more of a center. And like I said, he played with Chris Paul, and then he's on the Nuggets late in his career. So that should give it away right there. In fact, I think he won the championship with the Nuggets and Nikola and Jamal Murray when they won a couple years ago. This guy, he actually got a ring with them. And then the other guy is a very key, one of the top three players from a very important dynasty from 1999 going forward. Yeah, DeAndre Jordan is right, Kespra. The answer is DeAndre Jordan. He is the number one opponent of Marc Gasol in his entire career. He lined up across from him. And on my screen, I see Kespra getting that one for sure above Fiercy. And I'm sure that Adriana can tell me that for sure. Yeah, DeAndre Jordan. That's right. That's right. Yes, yes. Trevor's giving me a words of wisdom in the middle of the trivia. Trevor, we're doing trivia, man, guy. Come on now. If you don't leave your past in the past, it will destroy your future. I've lived today for what has not yesterday. Take away. Okay, yeah. Thank you, Trevor, for your words of wisdom. Sorry, man. I'm in the middle of this right here. So you're saying that DeAndre is still in the league and he's on the Pelicans at this point. Okay. Okay. So Adriana's ruled Kespera gets that trivia point. All right. The last name on this for an opponent. He's one of the most important, one of the big three for this dynasty in the last 30 years. Last 30 years, an NBA dynasty. He's one of the big three that are known for this dynasty and getting championships in this in the last 30 years. I guess it's Stephen Curry. No, right position though. Wrong dynasty. I will say that. Wrong dynasty, right position. Manu. Yeah, Cody, we do full name answers. It is not Manu. I don't know who that is without their last name, but good to see it. Tony Parker's right, though. Tony Parker's the right answer, Cody. So you got Tony Parker. That is the third answer. So yeah, three players that played the most games against Marc Gasol in his NBA career were DeAndre Jordan, Kevin Durant, and Tony Parker. That's right. So yeah, right in there ahead of Lionheart. Adriana, you can give me a ruling. I think I see Cody Willis 7729 with Tony Parker just ahead of Lionheart. Yep, she's saying Cody got it. So the ruling is for Cody. All right, we still got like 7 more questions, guys. So let's get to them. Yeah, Tuesday trivia. I hope you're enjoying it. Let's flex our muscles, our brain muscles on our Raptors knowledge. Show that the Raptor freaks are the most knowledgeable part of the Raptors nation. And we show our flex on what we know. That's right. Here we go. Here's the next question. What did Marc Gasol say to the crowd at the City Hall at the end of the parade? What did Marc Gasol say to the Raptors championship crowd at City Hall at the day of the championship parade? What did he say to us at City Hall? Yeah. Fiercey's saying he was too drunk to speak. That's the answer. That's exactly right. He said nothing because he was too drunk and they didn't let him have the microphone. That's right. That is true. That's the answer. He was too drunk to speak. He said nothing. Yep. See, you got to remember your Raptors history. That's true. He was too busy falling off the back of the bus. And then when they got there, they were like, man, we can't let Marc get up there, man. He's trash. We can't let him have the mic, man. It's crazy. All right, next question, guys. What player did Marc Gasol famously goose egg? What player? Full name answers, y'all. What player did Marc Gasol famously goose egg? Yeah, we know this. This is in Raptors lore. We know this one. We should know this one. We're good Raptors fans. Of course, we know the answer to this. What player did he goose egg? That's right. Cody knows it's Joel Embiid. Cody's going to get this one. I'm pretty sure Cody got it. He's just in before Slug Deezy, I believe. Yeah. Yeah. This is the part of the legend. Marc Gasol goose egging Joel Embiid. He never gone a game without scoring a single point. And well, Joel Embiid did that to him. He did. He did that to him. So Adriana, is it Cody? I think it's Cody. And then I see Slug Deezy and then Roger in the order on my screen. So I think it's Cody Willis getting this one. Yeah, good job, Cody. Coming in quick to get a couple of points real quick here. 200 points each. Cody is the ruling by the commissioner of trivia, Adriana. All right, we still got 5 more questions, guys. What was Marc Gasol's nickname in high school? What was Marc Gasol's nickname in high school? What were they calling him when he played high school basketball in Memphis? Yeah, he played high school in Memphis because his brother was on the Grizzlies, and the whole family came over from Spain. And Marc Gasol grew up in Memphis partly because of his brother Pau. So yeah, what is his nickname when he played in high school, guys? We know his nickname in Spain was La Tanqueta, La Tanqueta. But what was his nickname in high school? In some ways, somebody may have said it already on the stream earlier. Yeah, Big Burrito is right. Slug Deezy getting it. He was the Big Burrito when he played high school basketball, and he had a big shaggy beard and crazy hair. Yeah, Big Burrito is the right answer. Yeah, good job. Good job. Yeah, the big Spinard, the big Spinard, like a top. Put that big top in your house and let it spin around and wreck your furniture. That's right. That's right. Let's keep going. What podcast was Marc Gasol on recently when he said when he won the championship with the Raptors, he brought Memphis Grizzlies with him to win that championship, and that when he won it, he felt like it was bonifying a lot of the work that he did on the Grizzlies franchise with the teammates that he had at that time. So he was saying he won it with them. The Old Man in the Tree. No, it's not The Old Man in the Tree, the podcast that he said that on. Hello and Welcome. Fuck that show. Fuck those guys. Kareem Thomas. Out the Mud podcast is right. That is right. Slug Deezy knows. It's the podcast with Zach Randolph and Tony Allen is the answer. Slug Deezy got that one. It was Out the Mud where he said that. I thought that was a really nice moment, and that makes sense. He put so much time, like a decade, in his life in Memphis, and he worked so hard there, but he couldn't get the job done with the Grizzlies. So he came here and in half a season got the job done with us. And in some ways that makes sense. I don't hate on that. The fact that Marc Gasol wants to share his part in the Raptors championship with the Grizzlies franchise. I'm sure there were a lot of people in Grizzlies fan nation that were extremely happy to see Marc Gasol get the Larry O'Brien with the Toronto Raptors and get that accomplishment. So, yeah, it's pretty cool, man. Not Gilbert Arenas for sure. Yeah, no, it wasn't Gilbert. It was Out the Mud with Zebo. That's right. And Tony Allen. That's right. That's who it was. Slug Deezy getting that one. The king of the classic card getting some trivia points today. All right, guys, this is the one we do. And this is just like Price is Right. So get ready. How much money total did Marc Gasol make in NBA contracts over his whole entire NBA career? I want the rounded up number. How much money did Marc make in NBA contracts over his whole entire long career in the NBA? How much? 123 million, Fiercey? That is too low. That is too low. That's right. We'll go high-low on this. 123 is too low, Fiercey. Marc Gasol made more than that. $250,000, Mr. Roger Raymond. That's crazy talk. That is like a G League player's salary. 142 million is too low. It's too low. 140 is too low, Caspera. 150 is too low. These are all too low, y'all. It's like you're not busting out on Price is Right showcase, but you're doing all right so far. 150 too low. 156 too low. Cody, did you go look it up, Cody? Because it is 186. Cody, did you just go look it up? He doesn't have a single guess. He just comes in and marks it. 186. It is 186. So Cody Willis is going to get it. $186 million is how much you guessed? You're serious, Cody? Wow, you good, man. You good. That's a good guess. It's actually like 185.7. So rounded it up. Yeah, good job, man. Cody got Google. That's not where you find it, though. That's not where you find it. It's not. There's a very specific place where you can find this, and longtime Raptor freaks playing this game know where to find the answers for my trivia. They do know where to look. But yeah, that's impressive. That's impressive. He guessed that. Seriously, that's very impressive. You think he Googled? You can't Google that, can you? Can you write that in and say how much money did Marc Gasol make in his NBA contracts? Maybe you can do that. Maybe you can. There's already 2 questions left, guys. 2 more questions, and we're done with the Raptor Freak Classic Jurassic Tuesday Trivia Marc Gasol edition. That's right. That's right. How many dunks did Marc Gasol have in his entire NBA career? How many dunks did Marc Gasol have over his career in the NBA? Yeah, that's an interesting one, isn't it? I've never asked that one, have I? How many total dunks? 97, Cody? What are you thinking? He's a center. Look at his arms. Come on now. That's way too low. 112 is too low. 137 is too low, Kareem Thomas. Yeah, this is too low. You guys are underestimating. 900. There you go. Slug Deezy is a little bit like crazier. That's too high, though. That's too high. 187. No, it's too low. 120 is too low. 150 is too low. 200 is too low. 200 is too low. Yeah, we'll get there, high, low. 456 is too high. 750 is too high. 550 is too high. 250 is too low. 365 is too low. 245 is too low. 245 is too low. 232 is too low. 460 is too high. 400 is too high. 420 is too high. 400 is too high. 382 is right. Fiercey, did you look that up? Because that's the exact right number. 382 dunks for Marc Gasol in his career. 382 was the number exactly I needed. And, well, Kareem, 415. No, 380's close, Trevor. You were almost there. You did not look it up. It just came to you. I feel like that happens sometimes. Like, I could be looking at the number or I have it on my head and y'all can read it psychically through my brain. I feel like that happens sometimes. Like this happened yesterday. I was testing the questions on Adriana and she just like randomly said the number. And I'm like, whoa, how did you know that? I don't know. It just came to me. So maybe they just popped in your head or something like that. I listen to the highs and lows and look at the other answers. She's just looking at the trends. She figured it out. So that's pretty cool. That's very impressive. You and Cody with your guesses. Very interesting to do that. All right, last question. Last question coming up. Kareem saying, apparently we got Marc Gasol stat fact checkers in here. Well, that's what we're supposed to do. This is what we're doing here, right? We're celebrating a Raptors champion. Marc Gasol, you need to know him better. So know how many dunks he's got. All right, the last question is a scavenger hunt. The last question is a scavenger hunt. 186 is the 186 answer is Googled. What? No, I don't know. I don't know if that was actually Googled. I don't know. I would trust Cody on that one. Seriously, there's Cody Willis. This is a person who knows the Raptors, so he's got educated guess. I'm just gonna say that. I know that. All right, last question. Get ready. It's a scavenger hunt in some ways. That means you're gonna probably have to find the answer. You're not gonna know it. So who can find it first is what we're gonna say. Yeah, Kareem saying, wait, Lex, how did you get that number? How did I get the number? I don't want to tell you my sources so that you guys can figure out all my trivias in the future. I have places to find the stats on the players, and that's where I get it. Yeah. Give Cody the benefit of the doubt. Yeah, I believe him. He just came in and got a really good educated guess right there, 186 million. And it was fine. It's fine. This is Fiercey's competitive. This is her bread and butter. This is her day. She loves the Tuesday trivia and she's competitive. She wants to make sure she gets it. So she's a little bit of trash talk. Oh, Cody comes in and just gets the number right off the bat. She's like, oh, did you not cheat or something like that? See, it's just a little friendly, competitive trash talk. I believe in Cody. And I think Cody's fine. All right, let's go. Here is your last question. So make it count. What documentary does Marc Gasol promote on his Instagram? What documentary? I want the title of the documentary that Marc Gasol is promoting on his Instagram page, on his official Instagram account. I want to know. This is your scavenger hunt. So you know where to go. You know where to find it. Give me the title of the documentary that Marc Gasol's put in there. Open Gym, that's not it. No. Memphis Made, no, that's not it. No, anything that has to do with him is the subject is not the documentary he's promoting. Starting Five. No, it's not basketball related. Memphis Made. No, no. I know you guys go there and you look at it and you see the picture with him and stuff like that. That's just basketball stuff to me. It's an actual motion picture that was made in Spain, and it's a documentary, and it has nothing to do with basketball at all. It has nothing to do with basketball. Gasoline Family. That sounds crazy. Like, what is that? I don't remember that. That's not in there. Ilig de Origin. Origin. That's not exactly right. There's like a movie poster on his Instagram in one of the pictures, and it is that movie I'm looking for. And whoever writes that title in first will get it. Memphis Hustle is not right. That's the G League team, right? Memphis Hustle. Let's see. Cafe de Finca. Finca. No, that's not right. That's not right. No. Oh, Gasoline Family. You mean Gasol Family? Okay, that's what you meant. That's crazy. No, no, no. I figure this would be easy. You guys just go to his Instagram and find the movie poster on his page. It with like quotes on it. It says like quotes, and it's in Spanish. That's part of the reason why you can't see it or read it, because it's in Spanish. It's not in English. It's not a movie that's released to us. It's a movie that was released to the audience in the country of Spain. So I want to know if you guys can find the right word. This was a tough one too. Like Adriana trying to look it up. It was not easy to find. I only drank when at parades. That's the name of the documentary. That's crazy. You want him to get a dunk for that? For making fun of Marc Gasol's alcoholism at the parade? All right, we'll give Kareem a dunk. This is a judge adjudication for a dunk. This does not always happen in the middle of trivia. So Kareem, you're at the Morris Peterson 24. You got that Iron Man 24, my guy. Yeah, yeah, that's made by. There we go. Fiercey got it finally. Mediterranean, yeah, Mediterranean, and I think it's a documentary on water conservation, ocean conservation, protecting the water, protecting the ocean. So yeah, that's the right answer. That's the one I was looking for. What Fiercey wrote there, Mediterranean, Mediterranean. He made you laugh? So that's why you said give him a dunk? That's how we do it, honestly. All right, guys. So we got it through it. I'm going to add up all the points for today's trivia, and we'll update the standings, and I'll post them in the comments on this stream after the show, and you can see where y'all stand after today's point barrage. And looks like Fiercey got quite a few today. She got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. So she's looking at 2,200 points right there added to her score and her lead. So she's going to be up there. Yeah. So every one you guys got right is 200 points, and it'll be added to the totals. And we will do a classic card still today. So there will be a chance to get some more points still from the classic card in just a little bit. So last night, the Raptors 905 played the Osceola Magic. And man, they're really in a bad place right now. They had 8 guys available to play last night. They decided to say hasta la vista to Tyrese Hunter, I guess, because he sucks so bad, because he wasn't even at the game, and he wasn't available at all. And well, we saw at the beginning of the game, Olivier Sarr out of the lineup. So our center was in street clothes for last night. And that really kind of made things tough for the 905, because they only had 8 guys. Jarkel Joyner was back, which was good because we needed him. And, well, it was a Tyreek Key, Jarkel Joyner kind of show last night. And, well, we were winning most of the game. We had a really good lead into the fourth quarter, and we could have won this game. But we ran out of gas, and we fumbled the game, and we lost. And we lost our 3rd game in a row with Raptors 905. And, yeah, this sucks, man. I hate seeing this, because this team had such a badass record of perfection from the first part of the G League season. And now, because the two ways are up with the Raptors because of injuries, no AJ, no Elijah, no Jonathan, and Chucky's hurt too. And other injuries are happening around the 905 and other ways too. They're floundering and they're having a hard time. They will get to play Osceola Magic again tomorrow, and hopefully they can get them back. But man, they should not have lost last night. There were some very, very poor plays made last night near the end where we just gave the ball up in dumb ways. And of course, a huge thing, and this is mirroring the Raptors from Oklahoma City, all these missed free throws, just pathetically missed free throws that we lost so many points on. And this was such a close game. And alas, when you don't have manpower, you have only 8 guys to play, and you don't have the talent that you normally have around this team, you can't withstand missing so many free throws and still win. So Osceola did come back and beat us in the last couple minutes of the game where we were in the driver's seat and we were cruising to a victory, but they fumbled. I'm just going to be completely honest right here. The 905 fumbled the game last night and lost. And in some ways, they didn't need to. If they had just done a couple of things right, they would have been fine. They would have been fine. It's crazy, man. It's crazy. All right, let me see what else y'all are saying in the chat. I'll do the stars of the game, and we'll go over the box score just a little bit here. Yeah, let's see. Fiercely saying at Kareem, gasoline family is crazy. Yeah, Gasol, gasoline. Adriana saying, sorry, not a funny matter. Love the Raptor Freak family. I'm out sending hugs. Yeah, she's got duties now. She's got commissioner of trivia duties to help us run this game. And then also, she's got to go take care of things in her real life right now. So she's busy. So thank you, Adriana, for your part in being the commissioner of trivia. And we will see you next week for trivia next Tuesday also. Hopefully, we'll see you there too. Yeah, Fiercely saying, I see he still has lots of Raptors content on his Instagram page. Marc Gasol? Yeah, because he's a champion with the Raptors. And that's notoriety and prestige. But let's not get it twisted. Marc Gasol is a Hall of Famer for the Grizzlies. He won the ring with us, but his legacy and his time spent there makes him so much more important to that fan base in that city. And I have no problem with that. He's a Raptors champion. We'll celebrate him up here. But I know that his connection and his times is with Memphis. It just is. It just is. And we're not going to get in the way of that because, you know, he was on our team for a year and a half and he was fantastic. We loved him. And he's definitely a great Raptor and great standing with us. But let's not get it twisted. We know Marc Gasol is Grizzlies Nation. We do know that. Yeah, we know that for sure. Yeah, fiercely saying bye to Commissioner Adriana. She'll be back around, I'm sure. She'll be around here and there. Trevor's saying that the All-Star reserves will be announced on February the 1st. They did announce some things yesterday, like the Rising Stars Challenge and the NBA G League up next rosters. And 2 of our guys did get selected. Colin Murray-Boyles is going to be in the rookie game, which is fantastic. It would have been a travesty if he's overlooked. So obviously CMB will be there. And Elijah Martin did get voted in for the G League All-Star team also, which is fantastic. That's actually a big accomplishment because there's only like 7 guys that get on that team and all of the G League. So huge thing for Elijah Martin getting to be a part of that. And he's feeling very blessed for it. So yeah, that was great news. All of that. Of course, we found out yesterday also that Emmanuel Quickley was named the Eastern Conference Player of the Week, which is a fantastic accolade. You look at the other side in the Western Conference, Luka got it on the other side for the Western Conference, and our guy Quick is the Eastern Conference Player of the Week. It's fantastic. It's so good, man. So good, man. Yeah, Cody's saying, Mark or Powell, if you change them, do we still win the 2019 championship? No, because they're a completely different kind of player. And I think that the whole idea of what the Marc Gasol trade was that year was to upgrade on Jonas, right? So you absolutely have to have the only reason why Mark was such a huge upgrade on Jonas, because in some ways they're very similar, is the years and years of experience and vast IQ and knowledge of Marc Gasol. In some ways, that was like updating your hard drive with more RAM or just more capability to perform at another level. I don't want to diss Jonas Valanciunas because I love him and I think he's an amazing NBA player, still playing in the league right now. And but you know, that was the move to push us over the top to really get us the championship. And Marc Gasol is a true center. Marc Gasol is exactly what he was and what we needed, and he was perfect to acquire. This is a masterful move by Bobby and Masai and Bobby. And no, Pau Gasol is not the same kind of player, and it wouldn't have worked with him. It wouldn't have worked with him. I don't think he gets that goose egg on Joel like Marc does. Now, there's a lot of argument which one of the Gasol brothers is the better brother. The accolades point to Powell. But in some ways, the way I felt about it watching them in the 2010s is that Marc was in some ways the more useful player than Pau Gasol. Pau Gasol's flashy. Pau Gasol was on the Lakers, but he had faults to his game. There were things about Pau Gasol that were not totally ideal. But with Marc, everything's solid. And in some ways, the fact that he is such a good passer at his size, going towards the original Sabonis, Arvidas, and his 3-point shooting was huge for us too when he was a Raptor. There's a lot to it. It's weird because we actually asked Marc to do stuff that he wasn't used to. Is in Memphis, he was a very traditional center and stayed near the lane. But Nick Nurse was using him on the perimeter as a 3-point threat a lot. And he talked about this in that Out the Mud podcast about how that was a real shift and change and adjustment to kind of be hanging around on the outside and not being totally used as a post offensive threat. Kind of, it's a very interesting thing. So I say, Cody, no. And I would say Powell gets more accolades, and in some ways he gets more shine in the world. But on the down low, real ones in the NBA know that Marc Gasol was the more solid NBA player for what you're going to get on a night in, night out basis, a little bit more consistent. And Pau Gasol, well, maybe he's a more gifted offensive player and he's a little bit more this or that. But in some ways, Marc Gasol, even though he didn't win more championships than his brother, was a more solid player, is what I would say. Yeah, good question, man, Cody. I appreciate that question. Fiercely saying Eastern Conference Player of the Week. Colin and Martin are rising stars, and Jacoby and Shed also deserved it. But I guess there was a quota. I don't like the way they chose the people from the class of Jacoby and Jamal. Like, I really don't like Reed Sheppard. I'm like, what the fuck is Reed Sheppard doing on the sophomore team and Jamal Shed isn't? Like, this pisses me off, honestly, because Reed Sheppard was shitty last year. He's only come on a little bit this year. Where is the track record of consistency and all this stuff that makes Reed Sheppard this, other than he's like a golden boy that they really want to be good? Like, it pisses me off. Jamal Shed has been steady, and he's been playing at a superb level his 2 years in the NBA so far, the whole time. Yet he's been looked over in his rookie class just because, what, he's a second-round pick? It pisses me off. It's a snub, and in some ways, it is what it is. In some ways, Shed is better for it anyway, because you know what? This is the kind of stuff that, motivated people like Fred to go and get even higher and better. So, Shed, you will make them recognize you down the road. I know you will. But yeah, in some ways, it's a travesty. I could pick a way better sophomore team than the one that the NBA picked for the Rising Stars Challenge. And yeah, maybe it's because we have 4 guys in that rookie class that are useful and they all kind of canceled each other out. It's kind of annoying. The J-Rooks were very successful. We had 5 impressive rookies last year. One of them's been stolen from us by the Fitness to Play panel. But the other 4 guys, Jameson came in shooting threes like crazy, getting noticed as undrafted. You got Jonathan coming in as a really good defensive player in the first pick of the second round as a friend of Scotty's. And then you got Shed and Walter, who honestly, they are in some ways canceling each other out from getting accolades right now. This is a classic thing in the NBA where it's like if 2 guys are kind of equal and they're showing like they both are really good, they'll say, let's not even deal with them and just overlook them. And I feel like this is what's happening to those guys in particular. It sucks. I hate it. But you know what? They're going to get their accolades. They're going to force them on this league. And maybe their accolades will be rings on their fingers and not necessarily individual accolades and getting passed over like that. Yeah, Trevor saw that Scotty was at Raw last night. Yeah, the cross promotion between the Raptors and the WWE is in full effect right now. We've seen this mask that they're giving to people, this Raptors WWE mashup mask that's going to be given out to fans at the Minnesota game next week. And it's kind of cool. Scotty has not really told us that he's a big wrestling fan. It's not really one of his favorite things. I'm going to be honest here. He's more a UFC guy for real. But he jumped at the chance to be the Raptors representative at Monday Night Raw last night at ringside. They had Monday Night Raw at Scotiabank Arena last night. And because we're doing this WWE cross promotion, he came there. He had a really cool belt. Scotty had a Raptors WWE belt, and it had like it was just really cool. He looked like he was having fun. He was there with Patrick from the club downtown. And, it looked like maybe his brother John French was there with him too, which is cool. And that may have been part of the real fun for him is to have his brother with him there at the Monday Night Raw, sitting next to him and enjoying that. That may be something they shared as kids. But, Scotty never really talked about WWE on Twitch, all the hours that we watched him on the video game. He never ever really mentioned wrestling hardly at all. So I don't know how much of a fan he really is of wrestling. I think that he was just there strategically because somebody had to go and he wanted to have some fun. And well, he got a good standing ovation from the wrestling crowd at the match. And well, he was having a good time participating in the fun. I didn't watch Raw last night because I don't watch Raw. But it might have been pretty interesting to see with our guy Scott at ringside. That's right. That's right. The cross promotion is strong with Rogers in charge. That's for sure. Kareem's saying this: win or lose for the 905, as long as we keep the pipeline golden, the G League knows we are the best, and our 905 players are on duty and living their dream. It's just it's just what makes this so freaking tough to win throughout the whole entire G League season. It's because this is inevitable that your good players will get snatched up to the main team and that there will be injuries and that you'll be scraping the bottom of the barrel as far as talent and just having guys available. I mean, seriously, it was so bad last night that Juju Reese had to start and he had to play a ton of minutes, even though Andrew Jones likes shorten his minutes because he wants him on a short leash because when he's not doing things right, he takes him out of the game and he punishes him. And he couldn't do that last night because there was nobody to take him out for. And it's just tough, man. These guys get tired. They're trying to carry. And to credit to the guys like David Roddy, Tyreek Key, and Patrick McCaw and Jarkel Joyner for carrying. I mean, it's so bad that the Coach Andrew Jones asking Patrick McCaw to try and score. And McCaw, he doesn't like to score anymore. He's not even trying to shoot. There's even some rumors that Patrick McCaw can't see that far. Like his eyesight's not that good. So he shouldn't be shooting threes, right? So yeah, let me go look at the box score since we brought it up. My number one star of the game last night was Quincy. Quincy was fighting. He was a warrior out there, man. He came off the bench for us. He had 31 minutes, 24 points, 10 of 16 from the field, 1 of 3 from 3, 2 of 4 at the free throw line. See, he was one of those guys that was missing some of these free throws. They did miss 9 free throws. And that's not 9 points because in the G League, some of those free throws are worth 2 points each. Some of them are worth 3 points each. And we lost by 3 points. So you missed 9 free throws. That could have been like almost 20 points there. Just that. It's that bad, It's that bad. He had 12 rebounds also. So the double-double for Big Q, 24 and 12. 0 assists, 2 turnovers, 1 steal, a +2. Quincy was fighting in there, man. He was trying his best. In some ways, he had to play center because Olivier's out, and that's no easy order. And he, at one point in the game, twisted his ankle, and it looked really bad. It looked like he was going to have to go to the back and not come back the game. And Monique was just like, oh, my gosh, Quincy, I hope he's not that hurt in the chat. Yeah, but he did eventually come back to the game, which was awesome. He was okay. But, man, it looked like he really hurt himself when he twisted his ankle late in the game, but he was able to return. Thank goodness. Second star of the game for last night is Jarkel Joyner. Jarkel had a 1-game absence this weekend where he missed a game against Long Island, and he came back. Mysteriously was back. He I don't know what it was. Maybe he was just hurt. Maybe he was sick. Maybe he had a personal reason he couldn't be at the last game. I don't know. Blake Murphy, you're dropping the ball on keeping us informed on 905 affairs. We're our Raptors beat reporters. They're supposed to take care of transactions. And, maybe there's not as high a demand to know the transactions of the Raptors 905 But coming from the Raptor freaks, we want to know what the hell's going on. Why is Tyrese Hunter here all of a sudden? Where the hell is Jarkel Joyner? Where was our warning that Olivier Sarr was not going to be able to play last night? The demand for that may not seem like it's very big, but it is there because it comes from us. And I just want to know what the fuck, where was Jarkel Joyner against Long Island Nets the other day? And he was here for this game. 22 minutes for Jarkel, 18 points, 7-11 shooting, 4 of 7 from 3, 3 assists, 2 turnovers, a +4. Jarkel was hot from the start. He started hitting shots early, and it really helped the 905 get off to a good start and get the lead for most of the game because we were feeling good. We were hitting shots like crazy and doing really well. It was this kind of game with Elijah or AJ or Chucky available, we win because they would have controlled the game at the end to win it at the end. But we ran out of gas. When you only have 8 guys available, near the end of the game, you're going to get tired. And that other team just started doing things better because they had depth. They had players. And we did not. We did not. It was tough. It was tough. My last star of the game for yesterday is Julian. Julian got the start. He does not get the start very often. And it was because Olivier was out. 21 minutes for Julian Reese, 10 points on 4 of 5 shooting, 1 of 3 from the 3 free throw line, 9 rebounds, 1 assist, 3 turnovers, 1 steal, 1 block, a -3. Angel was at the game, sitting at courtside, watching her brother play. You know, he's such an interesting prospect. I'm telling you right now, this kid is going to be in the NBA. He's just got to have his patience and time with development. And coming up, he's going to be there. David Roddy, honorable mention, 39 minutes for Roddy, 11 points on 3 of 7 shooting. He was fighting out there. It didn't always look pretty. He's a bull in a china shop. He's out there, big body Roddy. 1 for 3 from 3-point range, 2 of 3 from free throws, 6 rebounds, 5 assists, 5 turnovers, 2 steals, a block, a +7 for David Roddy. He was a winning factor out there. He was busting his ass. It's not always pretty with him. Let's just put it that way. Tyreek Key did not shoot well for a good part of the game, but he kind of came on later on. It's the kind of thing where their 905 needs scoring. So Joyner and Key need to just be as aggressive as possible. I mean, like I said, they're asking Pat McCaw to take a lot of shots because they just need people to score. You only have 8 players. Everybody's got to contribute and try and score some points when it's like this. So, yeah, Tyreek, 32 minutes, 20 points on 6 of 11 shooting. He missed his only 3-point attempt. He made all 5 of his threes. In fact, he got up to the line after one of the other 905ers missed 2 free throws in crunch time. He got up there and sank 2 free throws like it was nothing. 5 for 5 at the free throw line, 3 rebounds, 2 assists, 0 turnovers, a -17 for Tyreek Key. It was just a tough game for him defensively. Patrick McCaw in the starting lineup, 33 minutes, 5 points on 2 of 8 shooting, 1 of 5 from 3, 5 rebounds, 5 assists, 3 turnovers, 2 steals, a -6. Tyson Degenhart's been disappointing me in recent games because you're an illustrious scorer from Boise State. You are the career leader in points for your university. Why aren't you filling it up for the 905 in the absence of the two-ways? Because seriously, this is what you do, Tyson Degenhart. So what the fuck, man? Why are you wasting your chances? You need to get out there and get a 20-point game with the absence and the people that are gone right now. You need to be more aggressive. Seriously, man. 28 minutes for Tyson, only 5 points on 2 of 7 shooting. He was 1 for 5 from 3. So he's a little bit off with this 3-point shot. He was so dead-eye at the beginning of the season. He made everything. He missed both his free throws, and those were clutch free throws late in the last minute of the game. Absolutely a fail. So Tyson Degenhart, I don't know what you're doing, bro. You need to get your act together because in some ways you helped the Raptors 905 lose last night. 6 rebounds, 3 assists, 0 turnovers, a +9 though. AJ Hogarth frustrated the hell out of me too. He was very good at times. You know, this is the thing. He should not be the go-to guy in crunch time. AJ Hogarth, no. No, he can carry during the game. But the fact that they were running plays for him in the last 2 minutes of the game was idiocy. No, you get that ball to Joyner and Key, and maybe you give it to Roddy and let him big body Roddy to the lane to get a foul or make a big bully shot. But no, you're not giving it to Hogarth. Why are you fucking giving the ball to Hogarth at the end of the game? That man will turn the ball over. He stepped on the end line. He did all kinds of dumb shit to turn the ball over last night. 33 minutes, 16 points for AJ, 7 of 15 from the field, 2 of 7 from 3. Missed both his free throws. Once again, these guys missing their free throws. 3 rebounds, 7 assists, 5 turnovers, 2 steals, a minus 11 for AJ Hoggard. And that's it. Only 8 players in uniform. What can you do? You run out of gas. You don't get enough effort because guys are tired at the end. They can't close it out and do it right. On the other side of things, Lester Quinones, former Golden State Warriors two-way, the leading scorer for them, 25 points for him, 7 of 16 with 6 rebounds and 5 assists, 0 turnovers. He was the big player there. Also of note, Ottawa Blackjacks Javonte Smart killed the Raptors 905 a bit off the bench with 12 points on 4 of 10 shooting. He hit some shots late that were very key. Also, Reese Beekman was annoying, the former NBA player who's played in the league, came in there also. So they had 10 guys out there playing for the Osceola Magic. And, well, you go run out of gas by the end of the game. The team stats, 51% shooting for the 905. They shot great. They just ran out of gas. They shot way better than them. They just didn't have the effort because they were tired and short-handed. The 3 points, they got 10 to their 11, and they shot just slightly better at 3-point range. The free throws were a disaster. 53% at the line of 10 of 19. And once again, those 9 misses is not 9 points. Those free throws are counting for 2 or 3 points in a lot of cases. Out-rebounded them? No. They out-rebounded us 48 to 44. Assist-to-turnover ratio, very poor for the 905. This is a calling card for both the Raptors and the 905. 26 assists to 20 turnovers. That's not the right ratio. That's too even. Meanwhile, the other side, 27 assists to 15 turnovers. They're a little bit more right with 2-1. 2-1 there. Fast break points. The Raptors 905 did get out running and got 22 fast break points, was pretty good. And they did get more points than paint, 54 to 52 by the end of the game. So it's just tough. It's tough. What is Andrew Jones supposed to do? His team is shorthanded and decimated. And in some ways, they're going to try and compete to the best they can with their principles and the way they do things. And it may be tougher to win right now with so many guys missing. It's just how it is. It's just how it is. Kesper is saying, wasn't Powell injured during the time we traded for Marc? Yeah, if he's talking about that specific time and place, yeah, I'm not looking at it that way. I'm just saying the whole idea of if we had Pau Gasol instead of Marc Gasol in that instance, how would it work? It wouldn't, because Pau Gasol is not a center in the same way that Marc Gasol is. And I don't think Pau Gasol could have done the things that Marc Gasol did to Joel Embiid. And that would be the big difference right there, I think. Kareem saying this, wait, Cody, are we talking Pau from back-to-back Laker chips or at that specific time in 2019? I'm saying he's just doing what ifs here. It doesn't matter. I'm just interpret the question as he said it, and I answered it the way I did. Cody's saying this: can you put Marc in LA in 2010 and still win? I'm not familiar with that Lakers championship because I don't care, and I'm not a general NBA fan totally. I'm a Raptors fan, and so the lore and the history of the Lakers and what was going on with them, I'm not familiar enough with their nuts and bolts and that particular Laker team to know how to answer this, to qualify it correctly. So I can't answer this. I'm sorry, because I'm not the Lakers freak, and I don't know that much about it. Yeah, I don't know that much about it. Cody's saying, yeah, I'm asking because I want to know which bro was better. I mean, it's tough to say. I mean, I think most people in the history of the NBA, regular NBA people, would say Pau Gasol was better than Marc Gasol. I'm biased. I may hold for Marc. And maybe some people that are really know their stuff will be like, no, man, Marc was better the whole time. You know, when they played each other, they really went at each other. In fact, there's some crazy games, if you go back and watch Gasol versus Gasol, where they absolutely want to kill each other in the game, and they're physically and hitting each other in dirty ways, and they're talking trash, and they're absolutely pissed off each other like they're enemies. They had such a sibling rivalry that it really was like that when Gasol matched up against Gasol in the NBA. Like, you could find footage of Powell versus Marc, and you guys may be shocked at the level of compete and just how much they cared about beating each other when they lined up across from each other. It's kind of crazy, man. Me personally, I'll go with our Raptors champ. Why not? I'm a homer. I'm going to go with Marc, even though that most of the common sentiment is that Pau Gasol is better than Marc Gasol. Yeah, Cool Cat's here. Good morning to the coach, Cool Cat. Good morning, Raptor Freak crew. A Raptor Freak original, Coach Cool Cat. We love Coach Cool Cat, and so happy when she's here in the chat with us. That's right. High five to Cool Cat. Stargate saying, "Good morning, Raptor Freak family. How's that IQ contract looking now?" That's right. And I want to give an apology to Stargate. Well, not really apology, but just say, yeah, you're right, and I was wrong. And this is yesterday that we're going from. He told me Mike Roach is out of pocket and out of line with some of the shit he's doing, and he's right. I forgot about that aspect about Mike Roach, that he can be a weaselly little like weirdo with his questions and his attitudes about the Raptors in cynical, pessimistic ways. And I gave him too much credit. I'm going to correct my statement on Mike Roach, and I'm going to say this. And Mike, if you are listening to me on the down low and you were trolling by putting out what you put out in the last 2 days, because I said what I said about RJ and trades. If you're trolling me, Mike Roach, well, this is what I'm going to tell you right now. Fuck you, Mike Roach, for putting out a piece of that totally made me look like an idiot for supporting you and saying that all these nice things about you. I'll say that it's amazing. The series you're doing with the broadcasters and the interviews you're doing with Jack Armstrong, Matt Devlin, Leo Routens, and all them is fantastic. You're educating the public. But when you do solo shit yourself, it sucks. It's a piece of garbage. Yeah. Yeah, I said it, Mike. Yeah, I said it. You can't do what I do, and you can't do it like this, Mike. You can't, because you don't have the personality to do this. And second, in some ways, your cynical ass clickbait bullshit about trading RJ Barrett, even if your stance when clicking into it is saying, no, we shouldn't trade RJ or any of this, because I don't care, because you did exactly what I was accusing Hello and Welcome of. And Stargate was telling me yesterday, no, Mike Roach is just as bad. He does it too. And I was like, nah, Mike's good, man. Mike's good. He's doing good professional journalistic work. I'm a fan. You're a journalist, Mike Roach, right? You let me down so bad, man. Why'd you have to go and put that out? Like, are you starved for content? Can you not get a broadcaster like every other day, your friends in the industry, to just do content with them? Why the fuck do you have to make content yourself and make bullshit like that about RJ in a trade? Yeah, it's just disappointing, man. Stargate, you were right. In some ways, I forgot. Mike Roach by himself is kind of a turd. It's like, dude, why do you do this, man? Why do you do this? You could do better than this, Mike Roach. Seriously, do a classic Jurassic Tuesday trivia on Marc Gasol. You'd be better off. It's more productive, seriously, than all the carbon copy bullshit RJ trade scenario asshole kind of content out there right now. Okay, go ahead and just do the flavor of the month of this bullshit, Mike Roach. I lost a lot of respect for you, man. That like in a day, just because it's like Stargate brings this to me yesterday and say, see, Lex, see? I'm like, damn, Stargate's right. Mike Roach, why the fuck are you doing this, man? Seriously, that's what I say to that. That's right. We don't need any content out there that links the words RJ with trade anywhere. We don't need that shit anywhere. Fucking stop doing this shit, Raptors content creators. Seriously, fuck that noise is what I'm saying. And Mike Roach, unfortunately, fuck your noise is what I'm saying this morning. I'll give you so much credit. I'm not even going to watch that clip, Mike, because if it's not Jack Armstrong or Leo Routens or Sherman Hamilton or Matt Bonner or whoever you're going to get on that show, I'm not going to watch it if it's just you, because I don't trust you with what you say about the Raptors by yourself. Yeah, that's the truth. This is a pure-hearted Raptors fan, and I ain't having your negative ninny bullshit is what I'm saying. That's right. That's right. Let's keep going. Stargate saying there are players in the league who have way higher contracts than IQ and have never, ever even sniffed a player of the week. See, I love this. Stargate bringing facts. It's like respect Emmanuel Quickly, league, Raptors Nation, people in general. Respect Emmanuel Quickly. This is the big movement right now. And I'm glad that we're at the forefront of it and we were on the right side of it the whole time. It's like, look, we never turned on you, Emmanuel, this whole year with all the noise and all this bullshit. We were here for you the whole time, and we will continue to do that. That's right. That's right. Stargate saying, so people need to shut up already with the IQ slander. That's right. I'm with you on that. I'm with you on that. Stargate saying Marc is a totally different type of player than Powell. You can't compare them. Can't compete them. Yeah, you can. You could do it. You can compare any player if you want, is whether it's a a useful exercise or a futile exercise, that's a whole other thing. I mean, this is a natural argument that's been going on for a long time, pretty much since those guys kind of came around the league, right? Powell was in there ahead of him, so he had some time extra before Mark became an NBA player, and he kind of got more of the notoriety for the family. And Mark being the second brother coming in after him, in some ways, that's a detriment to kind of seem like, oh, he could be better. I mean, we could do a stat analysis. We could do all kinds of stuff to try and figure out who is actually the better NBA player, whether it's worth doing or not. We could just accept that they're just different players, like Stargate's saying. And what's the point? Yeah, there's a lot of ways we could do this. Yeah, Kareem's saying, although we need a backup center, and that needs to be addressed, but I'm starting to think that other teams need to adjust to our small ball rather than us adjust to a traditional big center. Man, I don't know what it is, man, but we are out there without a net, without a center, without Jakob, and we're thriving. It's the craziest thing. Like, I do believe we want more depth at that position, and we should because it's smart because we're going to need it because it would suck if we get really far in the playoffs and all of a sudden this is the thing that messes us up. And we knew this was a problem all year. It would look really bad, right? Look really bad. We knew this was a problem all year. You didn't do anything about it, and now we failed in the playoffs because of this. No, this would be really bad. So, yeah, Bobby, you're gonna have to figure this out, man. You got time. You do it on your schedule. But at the end of the year, I don't want to say, oh, the Raptors got the put out of their season because of something stupid like because they didn't have center depth. That's something you could have fixed along the way. That would be really, really bad. Really, really bad. Kareem's saying it's not a fake. We out rebounded Oklahoma City by 14 with Chet in their lineup. We gang rebound. That's the whole thing. They let it be known that Darko put the challenge to the Raptors team as a whole. That I don't care if you're a guard, a forward, a center, it doesn't matter. We need everybody to go and get those rebounds. And they took it as a challenge. And Emmanuel specifically took it as a challenge and got double digits in rebounds. So that's how we're doing it. Is it's gang rebounding, and everybody has to go and do their part. And that's helping. That's really helping. Fiercely saying that the Charlotte Hornets destroyed the Sixers yesterday. Without Embiid, they are legit cooked. Drummond had 4 points. So next time we play them, he's the one we should neutralize, if possible, Maxey as well. Well, we're not playing them for a little while. And I don't know exactly who's going to be available. I don't know if we are playing them again this year. I think we're done with them, Fiercey. I think we finished with them. I think that we are 2-2 with them for the season. I think that's what it ended up on because we played them twice at home. We played them the 2 games in Philly already earlier in the season. So we're 2-2 with the Philadelphia 76ers, and we're done with them for the season. We will only play them in the playoffs if we see them again this year. Yeah. Kareem saying this, when we play small ball, it's like rebounding by committee. Exactly. Exactly. And we have to do that. And it helps to have a very premier starting point guard that rebounds so well in Emmanuel Quickly. Because he's a really good rebounder for his position. He's an extremely good rebounder. Fiercely saying, Lex, to your point, I have friends who are twins. In high school, they were highly competitive playing basketball. I mean, nail scratching and heavy shoving. It was intense. Yeah, and these guys aren't even twins. I mean, it's the kind of thing. It says a lot about Marc. Powell was the talented older brother, and he got in the NBA, and he kind of had all this stuff. But Marc was in his shadow, and in some ways, he had a chip on his shoulder, and he had a lot of the compete energy against Powell. Because he had a lot to prove as the younger brother. It's usually that dynamic in families with older and younger brothers. Is the younger brother is a very stubborn, tough one that wants to upstage the older brother somehow, some way. And I think that's the energy that the Gasol brothers have. It's like Marc really wants to beat Powell, and Powell's kind of like, "Oh, Marc, you're trying to beat me, but I won't let you," and stuff like that. I mean, it's a little bit like that, right? It's a little bit like that. Yeah. Stargate saying, "No need to apologize, Lex." And that's the correct word. He is very, very cynical and snide. Very. Yeah, it's annoying, man. Mike Roach, be happy. You have good life. You have blessings. So don't let your angst and your negativity come through in your content about the Raptors. Opinions about the Raptors have been overly negative and condescendingly cynical over the years. A lot of Raptors fans say they're fans, but they talk about the team like they don't respect it. And that's all I'm asking, Mike Roach. is understand we're real fans now. We're not this bullshit before. Like fans in the expansion days didn't know basketball and we were clueless and we were just like, wow, we have an NBA team. Then we got Vince and we got a showiness and we started to learn a little bit more, but we've gotten more educated. Our fans have become more passionate and we're more behind the team than ever. And there's this whole sentiment in Canadian media that the Raptors should be treated not with a favor, like the like from a fan perspective. We have to be cold and just journalists and say, well, we're just going to call it like so we don't seem like we have any warmth or fandom ourselves for the team ourselves. There was a lot of that in the media and the way they treated them. And Brad Fay and Danielle Michaud were two of the kind of people that showed that. They're like, they're not really for the team. They're just broadcasters and they're just cold and sterile. Well, do we like their approach more than Kate Burness or Kayla Gray? No, because they're more friendly and fun and they actually seem like they care about the team and love the team. That's the difference. A real fan like us, a passionate Raptor freak, can tell which one of the broadcasters are faking whether they like the team or not. And there were a lot of people that covered the Raptors over the decades that were not really for the team. And you could tell they were fake and full of shit. And you were kind of like, man, I don't want this guy covering my team. No, we do want homers. We do want people that actually passionately care about the Raptors and deep in their heart love them. And Matt Devlin, there's no denying the passion and the enthusiasm of his play-by-play call is there. Jack Armstrong going to spend so much time covering the Raptors. Of course he loves the Raptors. And Alvin Williams put that jersey on his back. So it's like, yeah, he has a real bona fide passion and love for the Raptors organization. I mean, some other people who cover the team, like Mike Roach, I don't know what your aspirations are beyond the Toronto Raptors or a production assistant for Raptors broadcasts or whatever. If you want to make the big time and get out of here and go to a States team or something like that, like AM EST or something like that, I don't know what your passion is. Do you have to show that you're not totally a homer for the Raptors? Is that why you do this way? Like, seriously, get the memo. The Raptors fans love their team, and it's okay for you to be positive and towards them and not be so cynical. That's my point right now. That in some ways, Raptors fans like me turn off the cynical bullshit because we're so sick of it. We've heard it all. And it's not like any of what you're doing is novel or original. It's just bullshit. So why can't we cover the team with a love and a passion and a supportive energy than questioning, gaslighting, cynical energy? That's what I'm asking content creators and people that make stuff for the Raptors audience. Know your audience and know that we've evolved. We're more intelligent in knowing basketball. We love the stuff from Samson Falk and Orrin Weisfeld when they talk in the nuts and bolts of basketball and play sets and the intricate stuff about the game. In some ways, we don't have time for Chicken Littles. They're going to come out and say, "Oh, our team sucks. We should be worried." And what are we doing? Oh man, we're going to need to trade. All this like fear mongering, like gaslighting, telling Raptors fans to be worried about cap apron, this, trade this, that. It just needs to stop. You guys, there's so much of this energy in the world right now that makes people unsettled. Why don't y'all be a bedrock of comfort, like a comfy chair in your living room, instead of being a prickly ass prick, like a anti-homeless spikes on a park bench at a public park? That's what I say on that right there. That's right. That's right. Kesper is saying IQ's too good again. So Trade Nation needs to switch scapegoats for an attention grabbing splash trade. Hence, they'll keep pivoting to another player when they fall off. So RJ, yeah, I can see this. Kesper knows the action. He knows. Neil's here. Good morning to Neil. Grady Dick interview at 11 a.m. on H&W. Okay, so Grady's going to be on Hello and Welcome with them. They better respect him. They better respect Grady. William Lou, I don't want you to be a little shithead to Grady Dick today. So be nice. And I'll actually watch their episode because there's actually a Raptor on it, not just them yammering on. So, yeah, I'll check out their episode later, but only the part that Grady's on. And, yeah, I appreciate Garrett Temple being on the Raptors show recently and talking about the trade deadline. Did you guys hear what Garrett said to Blake Murphy and Matt Bonner? He said basically, if the Raptors are going to make a trade, they need to be very careful because adding the ingredient to the Raptors team, you don't want to upset the vibes and the culture and the way that the team is right now. And, the way Garrett made it sound is like, I don't really feel like we need to make a move and that we'd be more at risk of screwing things up if we did make a move. So I love Blake Murphy giving the platform for Garrett Temple to come on and espouse as a player on the team, as a leader on the team, the way that the trade deadline should be looked at and how careful Bobby Webster needs to be if he's going to tread into any kind of transaction. Because that balance the Raptors have right now, like we said, it ain't broke, don't fix it. And the vibes are immaculate. And Garrett Temple's warning. He's saying, look, you do something, you can change the team up and you can screw it up if you don't do things right. If you bring the wrong person in. He said very specifically, there is a person coming in, they have to have a personality that adds to it and that people have fun with. Like, this is important, and I love that they put him out there saying that. Yeah, fiercely saying this. IQ has had many games in which he grabs multiple rebounds for sure. This is not like a flash in the pan. This is part of his player build. I'm sure on 2K, as a player, he has an extra uptick in his rebounds at his position as a point guard. It better be like that if it's realistic, Ronnie 2K, that Emmanuel Quickly is a above average rebounder at his position as a guard. Yeah, it better be like that. It better be like that. Yeah. Neil's saying that he saw Temple's take on Instagram. Yeah, he has a real part in it because, it's also cool how he said that the team didn't really ask him about stuff in his first year when he first showed up with the Raptors. But in his second year, there was more trust and he's in the circle of confidence as far as like asking questions. And he did have a part in scouting and reporting to Masai and Bobby and Darko about Brandon Ingram before we traded to get him. As a teammate of his on the Pelicans from before, he was the most knowledgeable and familiar with him as a person to understand what the fit would look like coming to the Raptors if we did make the Ingram trade. So he was very key in that process, Garrett Temple, and he espoused on how he felt really honored that the Raptors were bringing him in more to care about his opinion and saying things like that. It made him feel like he was more than just a player. In some ways, he was a borderline front office person and or a coach. And we saw that earlier this season when Darko gave him the coach's scout assignment for the Indiana game. And he got the chain for giving us our game plan for that game. So really good stuff there. Really good stuff there. Yeah. He's concerned about the chemistry being messed with. And I agree. I'm totally with that. I mean, we've been saying this consistently on this channel. You don't make a move just for the sake of making a move, especially when things are so good with your team. More can go wrong than right, honestly. And, saying things like John Morant would make us better. You sound crazy. You sound crazy to me. You think John Morant's going to come to our team and be a good influence and a good thing for the Raptors? You are fucking crazy, is what I tell somebody that says that. Yeah. Yeah. Put Garrett on blast. I love that, man. Kess was saying, dare I say it? The NBA has a lot of players and fans with awful personalities, even on our fandom side. For sure. For sure. BI and Kawhi kind of are a rare kind of personality in this league. I don't think that they're very similar, though. Brandon and Kawhi are similar in that they're enigmas to a degree. But I think Brandon Ingram lets his personal life a little bit more out than Kawhi. I think also that, if you look at energy around them, there's dark energy around Kawhi that's not necessarily all positive, but around Brandon, it is all positive. It's very light. It's very bright, positive energy around Brandon Ingram. He's not a man. He's more quick to smile. He's more quick to pal around. It's like we see more and more footage of him with the guys on open gym, and then also, stuff from the team photos. He's like I said, he's really taken to this team. He's a very much a guy who loves his teammates and gets bonded with them. He's done that every place he's gone to. He's made very, very strong connections to former Pelican teammates. And hopefully he's making very strong connections with his Raptors teammates right now, too. No, yeah, Brandon's smiling. He's laughing. He's joking. He in some ways, I know Kawhi was a jokester behind the scene, too. And they'd say, oh, Kawhi's not really like this. But there's something weirder about Kawhi. In some ways, he cuts himself off and makes himself exclusive, kind of like LeBron. And that can hurt a team. I speculate during our championship year, the reason why Kyle Lowry put a towel on his head and got at the end of the bench was he was protesting Kawhi. Yeah, in the middle of our championship season around Christmas, Kyle Lowry got really pissed off for some reason. And part of it is that Kyle and DeMar, when they were in charge of the team, they did everything as a team, and they were never stratified above the rest of the team as the all-stars or the leaders. They always made it so that they went to all the functions, whether it was mandatory or not. Kyle and DeMar were like that as leaders. They weren't separating themselves and saying, "Oh, we're the guys who are on top, and we're better than the rest of y'all, and y'all just need to respect that pecking order." Well, Kawhi's not like that. Kawhi will do like LeBron and stratify himself and put himself away from the team. And if he can skip practices or can skip functions, he does it. And that pissed Kyle off. Kyle was like, "This is not how we lead on the Raptors. This is not how DeMar and I have led on this Raptors team." And that pissed Kyle off. And people don't realize that. They part of the internal conflict on the Raptors championship team was that, and was just getting Kyle to accept that Kawhi's going to be Kawhi, and Kawhi's going to do things the way he's going to. And Kyle started to see the success, and he's like, "Okay, listen, if he's going to be able to do this, even though he's load managing and he doesn't want to do this function, he doesn't want to do this. If we're going to win, I'll be okay with it." And that's kind of what the struggle was for Lowry over the course of the season. Because in some ways, he wasn't happy about Kawhi's leadership on our team that year. Because in some ways, it wasn't the way him and DeMar did it before. It wasn't. Yeah. Yeah. It's an interesting issue, that whole thing. But I see Brandon not being like Kawhi in that respect, because he's going to go do all the stuff because he's into it. He's like, "Oh, you guys have an extra practice? I'm there." "Oh, you guys got to go and do a public function? I would love to do it. I'm not going to say no." That's the difference. And their energy that I read is that Brandon's a very willing, positive, a guy who's willing to embrace doing stuff with the team, and he's not above it. Kawhi was above it. And in some ways, that's that LeBron energy. "Oh, I'm LeBron. I'm above it. I don't have to be here for everything, right?" Yeah, it's that kind of stuff. Scotty's more like Kawhi. No, not Scotty's not more like Kawhi. He's more like Kyle and DeMar. Scotty's doing all the stuff with the team himself. And he opts out of some stuff, but for the most part, he is going and doing this stuff, and he is there with the team, and he's not missing practices. That's the other part of it right there. That's the other part of it right there. Yeah, our fans can be toxic. Everybody has different levels of different kinds of fans and different kind of content creators too, for sure. Fierce is saying adding players like John Morant or Sabonis would indeed shift the whole energy. There were also Trey Young talks. That would have also been a mess, in my opinion. We're good now. Yeah, I think we're successful. We're winning. You make trades to improve. If you're closer to the championship, maybe you make a move like Marc Gasol, but we're not there yet. This is not the year for us to make a Jonas for Marc kind of trade. Not now. We're getting a more realistic place to leap towards the championship. Then we'll make those later moves closer to it. Closer to it. Yeah. Stargate is saying blame the league for this big man issue. Ulrich should be playing on the team right now. Coloco's running around in a Hawks jersey right now, and it just pisses me off sometimes. Like, I knew it would be like this with him. It's like some ways I want to love Coloco and his history with the Raptors, but it's hard for me. I'm bitter because it's like I feel like the NBA has punished the Raptors through the fitness to play panel by stealing two Cameroonian centers in the exact same way. Does lightning strike the same place like that often like that? No. This is such a convoluted, fucked up thing, the fitness to play panel, and how it's taken away two rookie centers from Cameroon that we've tried to get going in our projects, and they just mysteriously go away. And it's the same timeline for both. And will we see Ulrich sit out 1 year and then all of a sudden he's on a whole different NBA team next year? Yeah, it's absolute horse crap. And in some ways, yeah, blame the league, blame the fitness to play panel for their shady ass dealings. And why do the Raptors get penalized for this? Masai paid his $1 million to get Ulrich Shamshay at the end of that draft. He paid the money to get him. But what do we have for this now? It's messed up, man. It's wrong. Kesper is saying what I'm saying with Kawhi is that he'll do the work no matter what the future he ended up following. Yeah, I mean, we got to give credit to Kawhi Leonard that he came through with his end of the bargain and helped us get to the championship. Sure. We can give him that credit. Yeah. Freddie was very clear about that on Unguarded. It's like, look, as much as like Kawhi and I aren't close, as much as like it was a weird season, but we won. He did his job and he got out of there. Sure, some of us were a little pissed that we didn't get a chance to try and repeat because he didn't give us a chance to come back. But in some ways, Kawhi, Fred had to come to grips with that and say, well, we wouldn't get that championship without him being there. So we have to honor and respect him, even if we don't totally like that he left and he didn't give us a chance to try and repeat. I think that the guys on the team have a very similar opinion about Kawhi as the fans, as far as like we would have loved to get a chance to try again, but he never gave us that chance. And the fans and the Raptors are appreciative of winning the championship with Kawhi, but also at the same time, it's like, yeah, dude, you're also kind of a dick. And like I said, like he came back with the Clippers recently. He didn't play. Did he get any of the accolades or the love from the crowd like Kyle Lowry did a couple weeks before with Philadelphia? No. And he never will. And it's partly because he just turned his back on the opportunity to continue to go forward with us, which he should have done, but he didn't. So in some ways, you're not going to get the same kind of love and adulation as an alumni, as somebody like Kyle Lowry or DeMar DeRozan in my book. That's the way I feel about it, or Fred VanVleet or Pascal Siakam. You're just not on the same level as them. To me, Kawhi Leonard. You're just not, and you never will be. And that's the sad thing, man. You see how Kyle has it. You'll never get that, bro. And you could have. You could have gotten that, man. It's sad, man. It's sad. Stargate saying Brandon seems to be close with Mamu. Brandon Ingram. Yeah. I mean, they're all close, man. Let's go look at the Instagram. We can go check this right now. First of all, it seems like Eugenio Marui is close with Delano Banton because he's posted his highlight reel from Dallas Stars, Texas Legends, or whatever. He's done really well in the G League this year. Delano Banton. And Omarui is putting him on blast for some reason. It's really weird. I know that they're both, GTA guys, so that may be the connection there. I think Savannah Hamilton's on Dragon's Den or something. I don't know. She's doing something with Dragon's Den these days. Coach Andrew Jones is celebrating. He showed a practice with the 905, a behind the scenes practice with the 905 players to see them kind of doing some drills and getting warmed up and stretching and playing some games. He's also celebrating Elijah Martin going to the Rising Stars game for the G League, which is fantastic. Fred VanVleet's got a new Unguarded episode that's going to come out, maybe even today, where he has call-ins from the fans and answering a lot of questions. So I look forward to the next Fred podcast. It's been fantastic hearing his insights and his opinions on all kinds of things through his show. And his interaction with the fans is awesome too. So very, very cool stuff. Let's see. Yeah, he's celebrating Reed Shepherd getting a Rising Star. Yeah, that should be Jamal Shed. I'm sorry. That should be Jamal Shed. Elijah Martin with the picture of him taking a dunk to the Sixers and him celebrating his Rising Stars selection. He's saying all the glory to God. There you go, Elijah Martin. You go on then. You go into All-Star Weekend and you are a Rising Star. There you go. I love it. And he's celebrating Colin getting his chance to be at the Rising Stars also. Emmanuel Quickly with the score from the other night, and he's celebrating player of the week that he got yesterday. And this is what Emmanuel said: "No weapons formed against me shall prosper. God is the greatest." There you go. He's speaking to y'all haters. All weapons formed against him will not prosper. That's right. That's right. Protected by God, Emmanuel. Protected by God. That's right. None of these things that y'all been saying about Emmanuel would prosper because he's going to be successful and he'll kill the noise. That's right. He's celebrating Colin and Elijah on his Instagram. So it's not all about him. That's right. Luget's Dort celebrating the two Thunder players that are on the Rising Stars channel. Or there's one, I guess. Just AJ Mitchell is going to the Rising Stars. Zach Edey is celebrating the plethora of Grizzlies that are going. Jalen Wells, Cedric Howard, and Cam Spencer are going to the Rising Stars. Cam Spencer? Really? And Jalen Wells, I know he got way more accolades last year than he should have. Honestly, I don't get that, man. Colin Murray-Boyles celebrating Eastern Conference Player of the Week, Emmanuel Quickly, and also himself. He's grateful for his selection to the Rising Stars Challenge. He's putting Elijah on blast too. Scotty's putting on blast Emmanuel Quickly for a Player of the Week. Scotty won that, and there's Scotty at the wrestling last night. He was sitting right behind the announce crew and Michael Cole, I guess. Is that Michael Cole still doing the announcing for them? It looks like they didn't use the whole arena. This is interesting. I guess the wrestling crowd just isn't as big as it used to be. This is they close off half the arena with the curtain like it's a concert stage. It used to be in the past they used the whole arena. So that's very interesting. I guess wrestling's just not, I mean, it's expensive. The prices for wrestling tickets is absolutely insane right now. So I don't understand how people are going to these things. Scotty putting on blast, calling Murray-Boyles for getting his selection, and Elijah Martin also. And there he is at courtside, ringside for the wrestling with Patrick. And I swear that's his brother, John French, on the other side of him. If you guys want to see his half brother, I believe that's his half brother, guys. Scotty's half brother with the beard. And I think that's his manager, Nick, on the other side of him. So, yeah, I'm not totally sure. Maybe I'm guessing. Scotty saw this. He's like, wait, he knows better than I thought. Mamu celebrating Manuel Quickley's player of the week and also showing a team photo of him with the Raptors on the court. I love it. And there he is with Colin, celebrating Colin and Elijah. We're seeing all the guys celebrating the different accomplishments. Jacoby celebrating Emmanuel for player of the week. The Raptors 905 celebrating Elijah Martin for getting his up next, and then showing some highlights from the game last night. It's a tough loss, 3-point loss for the 905 to Osceola. Hopefully they can come back around and beat them the next time. Jamal McGlure is doing a history lesson on Earl Lloyd. In the NBA's first 4 seasons, no black players played in the NBA. And then in 1950, Earl Lloyd stepped on the floor as the first black player to ever play in an NBA game. So yeah, Steph Curry and other people talking about this, about the sacrifice and the pioneer that Earl Lloyd was at that time. Manuel is getting celebrated by RJ Barrett. Better call 5 right there. Jameson is celebrating Emmanuel. Jonathan is celebrating Emmanuel for his accomplishment. And Matt Devlin is celebrating Emmanuel as Eastern Conference Player of the Week. And he's also got the highlight of Lou Dort getting carried around on the shoulder of Sandro Mamashkelishvili. It was pretty cool. Coco Wade celebrating Emmanuel for his accomplishment. Jamal Shed celebrating Emmanuel for his accomplishment. Yeah, you see a pattern here. AJ Lawson's in a new commercial with Jack Armstrong. He's representing Team Canada basketball, not the Raptors. So, yeah, good stuff to see AJ and Jack in a commercial there. Let's see what else we got. Toronto Tempo are the only team in the WNBA with former players as the GM and the head coach. I can't wait for them to get going. This is just, oh my gosh, we're waiting too long. We need players in Toronto for the Toronto Tempo in the WNBA. Let's get this work stoppage over so we can get some tempo players. Sandy needs to know who she's playing, because this we should have known and been having more time. This is a detriment in some ways, but in some ways, if it's a tough way, we'll go that way and we're going to make it work. So, in some ways, this is like the Valkyries did so good in their first season because in some ways everything was set up and went on time. It's not happening for the tempo. So people cannot hold whatever the Valkyries did last year as the template for the tempo this year to gauge them by. Don't do it, because we're already getting some disadvantages put at us right from the start, whether it's that we're doing the expansion draft with another team and they're picking the same time as us, the Portland Fire, or this delay because the work stoppage with the WNBA. This is really crazy. And I know on down low, Teresa Resch in some ways is pulling her hair out because of this stoppage. It's not ideal. The timing is really horrible for the expansion Toronto Tempo. And I hope that they can just get this figured out. Seriously, it's been annoying, this whole thing. Seriously, it seems really annoying. Fiercely saying that I remember Zion was extremely emotional when Ingram left. Yeah, I think there was a bunch of them. A bunch of them were upset. I mean, he just had that kind of connection. I know he's really close with Jose Alvarado. He's close with Trey and Herbert too. So he has some really strong connections with his old teammates for sure. Yeah. Let's see. Correction. He did the work. Once he got the Clippers, he started being less available. He was not available with us either. Let's not get it twisted. In some ways, we had to cater to Kawhi. Load management was a term that became about then, but he wasn't doing much stuff with us behind the scenes. That's what it is. He did the work on the court. He showed up and he did the things on the court, but let's not get it twisted. He's like opting out of team stuff. If he didn't have to be there, he wasn't there. Let's just put it that way. That's the stuff that I heard. Let's see. Trevor's saying, watch how quickly he shut everyone up. And now the Eastern Conference Players of the Week. He just sticked it to all you fools. Not us fools. We were not foolish enough to go against quickly, but some people were. But yeah, I like that. You should bring the receipts around, Trevor J. You should. Kester saying, but my main point stands. Personalities like Brandon that would see through the media narrative BS, look at what our organization have basketball wise and buy in are rare in this league. I look at Brandon as a really smart basketball head. Like he knows the sport. He loves it. He breathes it. He lives it. And I mean, there can be a lot of narratives and press and opinion pieces and content makers that try and shape perception. But if you know basketball because you play it and you're in the middle of it, you can see through all the lies and see it for what it purely is. I think that's what you're trying to say. That him coming to Toronto was a no-brainer because he could see how good the organization was. He could see kind of our reputation precedes us, and that he would like to be a part of it. If there was any scare, oh, you should go to Toronto. No, don't go to Toronto. That's career suicide. No, that's not true. And according to who was it that said it? Somebody prominent said this recently. Paul George. He said, "No, career suicide is going to Charlotte." That's what he said. Paul George straight up said, "No, man, I would never go to Charlotte because I know if I'm going there, my career's over." It's so funny, man. Fiercely saying this: the moment I saw Bi play Uno, I was bought in. Joke aside, it shows he likes interaction, strategizing, having fun. Team player as at times you can work with others to block a player, etc. Yeah, it's pretty cool. Like he carries Uno cards with him. We found that out from one of the open gym segments that Brandon's just walking around with Uno cards in his pocket. And if they have time and they're sitting around, maybe they're in an airport waiting or something like that, he's busting them out and they're drawing four and reversing and skipping. And I mean, it's kind of interesting because like normally the players would have cards and be playing poker and stuff like that and gambling. I wonder if they do gamble on the Uno though. They may very well do that. They'll be like, yeah, we're playing $100 games or something like that. Whoa, $100 Uno games? That's crazy. That's some Michael Jordan stuff right there. Maybe $10 Uno games? I don't know. Too rich for my blood. If you're playing $100 Uno games, that would be crazy, man. That'd be crazy. Stargate saying, yeah, Lex, it's way too convenient that two players at the same position from the same place are taken away from the team in the same exact way. Nah, something stinks. From the same country, the same timing, everything's the same. It went down exactly the same. It was in the first year you get to play them. And then the second year, fitness to play panels here all of a sudden. Hello. And I wish we knew more about them. Like they're a nefarious like doctors board. I've heard that there's like 3 or 4 doctors on the fitness to play panel. And to me, it just smacks of a Dr. Nick Riviera kind of bullshit from Simpsons. Just some sort of weird ass doctors that the NBA is paying them to make up whatever bullshit that they want on certain players. And I think that also there's a weird symptom of the fitness to play panel going after foreign born players. Like, did they go out and chest and go after these American players as much? Or is it mostly just guys from Africa? Because it seems like, and some people are trying to make it a thing about geography and saying, well, these African guys are coming over here and they have sickle cell or they have blood issues or they're having clot issues. Man, that sounds racist to me in some ways. It's like, wait, what? Yeah, no, man, it's scientific, man. They're from Africa. It's hot. And then they come to North America and it's cold and it screws up their blood. It sounds like you're just making up some bullshit. Seriously. That sounds like you're just making up some bullshit to justify. I just wish that their process was more transparent so that we could understand exactly the rules of it, why, what's going on. But in some ways, the nature of medical history and medical information is private. And they don't want to put all that stuff on blast. But still, I mean, if we at least understood the framework of it without a player specifically involved in it, you just told me the process of how you guys are doing things with the fitness to play panel so that we could understand better as Raptors fans, maybe we'd be okay with this a little bit better. And why is this not happening to other teams in the league? I think this has happened to us twice. And I don't think this has ever happened to any other team like this in the whole entire league. This is fishy as fuck. And Stargate and I are on this. We really do feel like there's some sort of weird ass hold down the Raptors movement through the fitness to play panel, stealing our Cameroonian centers. Is this messed up? We wouldn't have this lack of bigs if Koloko and Shamshay were allowed to come through our franchise like they're supposed to. But they get snatched away from us. And it's weird. It's messed up. Is Rich Paul, the puppet master, doing this shit? It could very well be. Fred talked a lot about Rich Paul recently on his Unguarded podcast, the leader of Clutch, and how he's a dude that's a baller and he's just doing his thing. And you can't, he's a entity on his own. And I could see him having some sort of convoluted, weird ass thing where he gets his clients out of Toronto using the fitness to play panel somehow, some way. Either way, I don't trust Rich Paul any more than I could throw him. And Fred said some very interesting things about working with Rich Paul and having him as his representation and how he operates and different things like that. Talking about him and his podcast that he does these days. And also, what kind of issues and conflicts with LeBron and the NBA and all this other stuff with Rich. Yeah, interesting stuff by Fred. But yeah, I feel like Rich has something to do with this whole thing, with these centers and this stuff, because they're his clients that have gone, both of them. That's another thing that's in common with the whole equation of this bullshit, this phenomena that we're talking about. Something stinks. Yeah, something stinks. Exactly. So when you get mad about the Raptors not having center depth, get mad at the fitness to play panel. Seriously. Because if they were on time right now, we'd have Koloko, on his 4th year right now? We'd have Shamshay going through his 2nd year right now, but they're gone. They've been snatched from us. And it's like, do we get any compensation? No. Why? People say, well, you waived them. You let them go. Why? But why were we forced to? Why weren't we able to stash them in some sort of like a hardship clause, or like you guys drafted them, you have the draft rights, you can stash them because they're on the fitness to play panel. It needs to be more clear, because shit, the Thompson twin could go on fitness to play panel, Wembanyama can go on the fitness to play panel, and maybe they're bigger, higher stake contracts and they're held on the roster and the roster position still somehow, some way. But there should be allowances for the Raptors to do that with their lower paid end of the bench projects also, right? It just seems like it's stealing. It's stealing from us. It's like if these guys were rightfully drafted by us and we invested the rookie year of development in both of these guys and trying to get them into something, and then all of a sudden we don't choose for them to leave. The doctors say they have to leave. It seems like it's some fucked up bullshit. Seriously. Seriously. Fiercely saying the obvious point is jersey number 2 now belongs to someone else. Like Lex said, the untouchable ones are 7, 10, 43, and 23, exceptionally worn by somebody else. Yeah, we're not going to retire jersey number 2 for Kawhi Leonard ever. Did anybody say anything like that on here? I don't think so. I don't think so. I don't think anybody said that. I don't think anybody expects us to retire number 2, Jonathan Mobo's number. No, I don't think anybody expects us. Shed is wearing Fred's number right now on permission from Fred VanVleet. And it could very well be, depending on when Fred retires, and Shed holds 23 for how long with the Raptors, he may be the last guy to wear 23 because Fred's number's going up there. And anybody who thinks that Fred VanVleet's number shouldn't be retired by the Raptors, you're wrong. You are wrong. I'll tell you that right now. Same thing for Siakam and the same thing for DeMar. All 4 of those guys need to get their jersey retired along with old Vince. And, that'll be good. Those are the 5 that I want retired. Kyle, DeMar, Pascal, and Fred. Those are the 5 I want retired. Those are the ones that deserve it the most, honestly. Let's see. Keeping on going in the chat. Let's see. Trevor's saying Scotty stole McDonald's from 17,000 Portland fans from not getting 100 with the block at the win. Yeah, we went over this already, Trevor. We talked about this after the Portland game. That's like Saturday's stream, Trevor. That's like 4 days ago. We talked about this. You were in the chat, right? You heard me talk about this, right? No, we talked about this. That's why he was blocking people. Yeah, we went over this. I made McDonald's jokes about this. That was on Saturday, Trevor. That was 3 days ago. We talked about this. That's the Portland game. We got Oklahoma City since then. What are you doing, Trevor? Give me this old stale news. Kaloy saying this. Jamal Shed should be on that sophomore list for sure. For sure. I'm with you on that. Kareem saying, plot twist. Kawhi wants to retire as a Raptor because Spurs and the whole province of Texas hates him. Nobody in LA cares for him, and us Canadians are forgiving. If he took a page and wrote an apology letter to the city, do you think we would be forgiven? Man, that's goofy shit. First of all, I like how you called Texas a province. That a little bit of that energy going the other way with the bullshit Governor Carney bullshit. Let's just say that, yeah. This is ridiculous. Seems like you're trying to make an elaborate joke. No, if Kawhi wanted to make things right with us, he probably would have done it a long time ago. He can't at this point. It's too little, too late. He should have been saying yes to Kawhi and dine at that time, and he would have been fine. But he turned his back on a repeat with the Raptors, and that's an unforgivable sin. And in some ways, because he's not very vocal or vociferous, I don't expect any of this. Look, it is something about your legacy when the teams that you played for are not really that forthright with wanting to celebrate you. And San Antonio and Toronto are the two places you won championships, and neither fan base is that great feeling about celebrating your ass after you retire. That says something a lot about Kawhi Leonard because Spurs fans are not, a lot of them are not about celebrating him in any kind of way. Some fans are like, we'll celebrate him. We've forgiven him. We should forgive him. Some of them are like, fuck that guy. Did you see how he left? And you see how that all went down? Here in Toronto, I mean, we're a little bit more amicable towards Kawhi Leonard than San Antonio. But that's the thing, Kawhi. You act a certain way throughout your life. You burn bridges. You act like an ass. You're not going to have the legacy and the love and the warm feelings afterwards because you didn't do it right. You didn't do it right. In some ways, you were the bad guy. You were the bad guy. Yeah, you were the bad guy. Clippers can celebrate him all they want in his broken ass career with them. They can celebrate him. You got him, Bomber. You want him so bad, you got him. Now it's going to be up to you to celebrate him after because San Antonio and Toronto don't want to. They don't want to. That's right. That's right. Slug DZ saying Kevin Garnett on his podcast said the Raptors deserve 2 All-Stars. Paul Pierce disagrees. Yeah, of course Paul Pierce, hater, disagrees. Of course he does. I love KG saying that. But it was all muddled and weird. I watched that segment. He thinks that Brandon really does deserve to be an All-Star. And I agree with him, but I don't think it's going to happen. And what did Paul Pierce do when Brandon Ingram and Scotty Barnes were the two, these KG saying they should be All-Stars? Paul Pierce just turns around and says, there should be 2 Boston All-Stars. We should put Derek White in the All-Star game with Jaylen Brown. Oh, my gosh. Homer, Homer, Homer. Homer Simpson. Paul Pierce hates the Raptors, loves the Celtics, and that's part of the sentiment right there. He couldn't stand the idea of us getting 2 All-Stars. That doesn't make any sense. Meanwhile, he's like, the Lakers getting 2 All-Stars. We got to have Jamal Murray and Jokic as 2 All-Stars for the Nuggets this year. The Thunder have to have 2 All-Stars. I don't agree with that. Why do the Thunder need 2 All-Stars? Chet's not an All-Star. He's not to me. The SGA could be the 1 All-Star for the Thunder, and that would be fine. I have no problem with just 1 All-Star. Who's to say the top team in the league? I don't think Jalen Duren should be an All-Star either. Kate Cunningham's fine. The Pistons got 1 All-Star. There's teams that actually have 2 All-Star level players, and the Raptors are one of them. And in some ways, Jalen Duren and Chet Holmgren, those guys aren't All-Stars. They're not All-Stars. Cade Cunningham, SGA, sure. They're head and shoulders above the other guys. The rest of them all cancel out. They all cancel out. And, the Raptors, Scotty and Brandon are on another level, and they are both All-Stars. They're at the right level. Yeah, Paul Pierce is a hater. Fuck you, Paul Pierce. That's what I'm going to say right there. Kesper is saying what Charlotte does next year will determine if their organization will still be career suicide. Don't hold your breath, man. They have some good things going with Con Knipple and Charles Lee. These guys are 2 building blocks that are actually going the right direction for them. But will they be enough? Will they be able to hold on to it? Will the toxic weirdness or some weird things with that team get screwed up somehow, some way? Yes, probably. Yes, probably. Their trajectory looks good right now from the improvements they've made and some of the wins they've been getting recently. But will they be able to make the next few steps? Will they be able to acquire the other people around Con and Charles to make them even better in the next stages? Brandon Miller, he's pretty good too. I don't know. Is Ryan Kalkbrenner going to be all that in the bag of chips as a center in the league? I don't know. There's no guarantee on that either, right? That's right. Let's see. Stargate saying both Gilbert Arenas and Kwame Brown have made comments previously about sending players to Toronto as punishment. Yeah, well, they're idiots. They're idiots. That may have been in their old NBA. They're commenting from the period of time after Vince left to go to New Jersey. They're commenting on the late 2000s, the Raptors of Jose Calderon. They're commenting on those teams that were floundering, that were coached by Sam Mitchell. That was a punishment. That's why Rudy Gay says nobody wanted to go to Toronto
when I went to Toronto. That's why they say this bullshit. In some ways, that's a tired old trope that's old news, and it's not applying to today. That may have applied to when Kwame Brown was in the NBA and he mattered. That may have applied when Gilbert was running around being a dumbass with a gun in a locker room, but it doesn't apply to today. That is an outdated assessment that was maybe good 20, 15 years ago. Maybe then. But then we, the North, Masai Ujiri, Kyle Lowry, DeMar DeRozan, Dwayne Casey came through. And that changed the whole narrative right there. That's right. That's right. Slugdeezy's saying, don't forget, Brandon Carlson was taken from us too. No, he wasn't. We dropped him. We chose to. Another center we weren't allowed to develop due to OKC sniping him off our roster. If we wanted to keep Brandon, we could have. We didn't want to. He's not somebody I give a shit about. Raptors Nation, some people overimportance him and say, oh, no, we dropped the ball with Brandon Carlson. I don't believe that shit. That guy is not a needle pusher. He's not that important in any kind of way. And people thought because he could shoot threes and he could do this and this. I was like, man, this guy's not that good. And the Raptors didn't care about losing him. It wasn't that they got stolen or anything. We didn't protect him because we didn't care about keeping him. And that's why he went over there. Brandon Carlson's not on this list, okay? And you guys over self-important him as a player in this league and who he is ridiculous. I'm sick of hearing that we drop the ball on anything with Brandon Carlson. He doesn't matter. He's a player that won't matter in any kind of way in the long run. He got a championship for the Thunder with the Thunder. He's lucky. He's lucky he got that. Jonte is a good example, though, of this. Yes, Jonte gambled himself to prison. Something strange going on with us in the center position. Yeah, the Jonte thing is so unfortunate. He really did have a path to a lot of great things with us, but he fumbled the ball with his addiction and his mafia ties and his bullshit. And he gets the punishment he deserves. I'm sorry, man. In some ways, it's sad that he had an addiction and he fell into this so deep and had this happen. But he let down so much. He let us down. He let the team down. He let himself down. And he let himself down to the point where he's banned from the NBA for life. Yeah, what a sad thing. And maybe the NBA knew that there was gambling problems and they wanted to have a scapegoat and a person to point to be a cautionary tale to the other NBA players. And they knew, well, it's a Raptor. And in some ways we can get away with this and there's less fallout because he's on that team. If he had been on the Lakers, would they have covered it up and tried to protect him so that he could stick around? Maybe. I don't know. We can't answer that. I don't know. There probably are guys that they're knowing have been gambling and they've hit it for them because they're more important to the league in certain ways. I mean, we can conspiracy theory all kinds of stuff like this. Yeah, the reason why Jonte got busted is because he was a Raptor? Maybe. Maybe. If he was on another team, would he have gotten into trouble? Maybe not. I mean, we could speculate on that. We can speculate on that. Kesper's saying the center position is like our defense against the dark arts professor position. Harry Potter reference for those who don't know. I kind of get this one, even though I'm not a Harry Potter person. It's after me because I'm older. And I never read those books because I was an adult. And I was like, I read the first one because my ex-wife was into Harry Potter. And she was really into it. And she wanted me to go to the movies with her. But I do remember this aspect from reading it, that's a position that they have to keep filling because they go bye-bye. It's kind of like the drummer for Spinal Tap is what I hear. It's kind of like that, yeah. Kareem's saying this, why does the NBA have the authority to tell us who we are allowed to pay or play? If we wanted to spend $10 million on a player who's averaged 1 point a game, who are they to tell us no? Does Shamshay have a disease? Well, it's speculated that he has the same thing that Koloko had, which was a blood clot issue. It's a blood clot issue. I think that, but they never actually officially came out and said the actual malady that has put Ulrich Shamshay on the fitness to play panel. It's just so mysterious and kind of full of shit, man. It really is. It's annoying. Like, I don't know if these players are absolutely under angst. It could very well be they told Christian and Ulrich, you guys got to sit out a year and then you can be a Laker. Some bullshit like that. And Christian's like, oh, I'll do it. I'd love to play with LeBron and get to LA. Who are they promising Shamshay to? I have my money on the Miami Heat, guys. And I was right about Koloko. I called it as soon as they took him away. I was like, oh man, this is some bullshit. If Koloko sits a year out and he's a Laker all of a sudden, I'll know this is bullshit. And that's exactly the team he went to. I called it. The receipts are on this channel. I said, if Christian Koloko is a Laker next year, I'll know this is bullshit. So I'm calling it right now. I'm going to predict that somehow, some way, Alrish Shamshay will be on the Miami Heat's roster next year, guys. And that's the team I particularly feel like is going to land him for some reason, somehow, some way. Even with Kel'el Ware being there. They're actually trying to move on from Kel'el. So they may try and get Shamshay to fill in that spot for Ware, and that is supposed to be our guy. See, that's the shit I hate. This is the shit that pisses me off. Fiercely saying my issue is we got some sort of clarification on Koloko's pulmonary issues, but nothing on Shamshay. Extremely fishy. That's why I had asked Lex if we had any info on that panel. We don't see anything. I've researched it a bit. I know that it's like 3 or 4 doctors, and they do their own examinations, so they're independent of each other, and then if they come to the same conclusion. But we know how doctors can be fudged, and the whole thing's shady. It's just shady. Yeah, they haven't. Part of it is that they have to protect Shamshay's privacy with his medical history and his records. But yeah, no, they've never told us officially what he's suffering from or why he's been given this designation. W Stream fam. All right, I'm at 2 hours. I need to get done. 2 All-Stars for OKC. Okay. Well, the record, in some ways, that's why they say it. Because the record is way above and beyond. But to me, I didn't even totally agree with Jalen Williams being an All-Star last year. I didn't really, seriously. Because it's like when you have SGA at that level on that team, he's just your all-star. The rest of those guys, in some ways, they're good players, but I don't look at them as stars. I never saw Jalen Williams as a star. He's not like that to me. Sure, his stats can be good and all this stuff, but it's not like he's flashy. In some ways, an all-star used to be like, you're a star. No, that's the reason why you would say something like James Harden should possibly be on the all-star team this year, is because he's a star. He's a star in the league. And some of these guys, Jalen Duren's not a star. What the fuck is Jalen Duren? Like, he has star power. Or if anybody thinks, oh, you look like an all-star. No, nobody thinks that about Jalen Duren. Just because Detroit's at the top of the Eastern Conference, because they have a few more wins than other teams that are below them, they should get 2 all-stars, and Jalen Duren's an all-star all of a sudden? Don't look right. Like Jared Allen being an all-star. That didn't look right either. Jared Allen is an all-star? Give me a break. Give me a break, man. Let's see. Saying so no Brandon Carlson birthday shout outs. No, he's on my list. If his birthday comes up, I will say happy birthday to former Raptor Brendan Carlson, because he did play for us technically. And it's if a player plays for the Raptors, he will get the birthday shout out. So let me go see who's the birthday for today. Today's birthday today is Lonnie Baxter, guys. Happy birthday to Lonnie Baxter. He played for the Raptors in the middle of his career in 2003, 2004. He was on our team for 1 year. He was played 36 games for us. He started 4, and he averaged 4 points per game. Lonnie Baxter got in trouble for a gun incident in Washington, D.C. after his playing career. So we're going to say happy birthday to Lonnie Baxter, who is 47 years old today. So happy birthday to former Raptor Lonnie Baxter. Yeah. Fiercely saying, Lex, you missed my comment on Ron Harper Jr. After all these years, he will represent his G League team at the Rising Stars. I didn't see him on the list. He's not on there, is he? I didn't see no Ron Harper Jr. in the Rising Stars Challenge. Is he on there? I don't think he is. You sure that's true? I don't remember that. Let me go see. G League up next roster. G League up next roster. I don't remember this. G League up next roster 2026. That's not the right one. This one. This is the one I need to look at on Yahoo. Okay. Yeah, they did put Ron Harper Jr. on there. Well, he's had a good year for them. That's interesting. I didn't remember seeing him on there. Young Hansen, which is interesting that he's on there. David Jones Garcia, Yannick Conan Niederhauser, Elijah Martin. You're right. Why didn't I not see Ron Harper Jr. on there? Well, he is having that kind of year for the Maine Celtics. So in some ways it makes sense. I just didn't stand out to me. I was like, "Oh, he's on there." In some ways I don't care. I really don't care. Let's see. Kesper's saying the NBA, like any other industry, is finding a hard time balancing between the metaphorical past with Jordan, present with LeBron and Curry, and the future X factor to be confirmed. The problem is that they try to control too much. Their marketing wants to know the next person is the cash cow, and they pick the wrong person, and they're not the right person. They try to manufacture who's going to be the face of the league, and they need it to naturally happen. They need to allow the fans and the way that the players play on the court determine this, the accolades. In some ways, you can't make a Michael Jordan. A Michael Jordan has to become a Michael Jordan, and then you recognize it. And that's the biggest problem. They try to make these guys before they actually arrive, and they fail because they have more expectations on them and they don't fulfill this. So the best thing that Adam Silver can do is just let the games be played, let the seasons be played, and let it all be laid out and let us determine it afterwards. If you want Victor to be the face of the league, he has to earn it. SGA is the guy who looks like the face of the league right now. Nikola's not really trying to be the face of the league. He don't give a shit. In some ways, once again, the bias of the United States and the NBA is to have an American face of the league, and having a French guy or a Serbian guy or a Canadian guy being the face of the league is not in their interest. That's why they wish Anthony Edwards would stop tweeting anti-gay stuff and acting like an asshole. And he doesn't really want this mantle. He doesn't want to be the face of the NBA. He doesn't want this responsibility. Not enough people like Jason Tatum. They think he's a jerk, and he's not that popular outside of Boston. So he's not really a face of the league. They can try and make faces of the league. It's got to come naturally, and it has to come to consensus. And them trying to force it through like dealings with the shoe companies and the apparel companies, and like, oh, this guy's going to be great. We're going to make this guy Ja Morant the face of the league. Well, you see how those kind of things go, and how you can't do the horse before the cart before the horse. You got to do it in the right order. And that's why, in some ways, they don't need to understand what the past is the past. Leave it there. They want to go towards the future. They need to be honest about who's actually deserving of being the face of the league. And right now, to me, it's Gilgeous-Alexander. He's the most deserving because he's the best citizen. He's the highest level player, and he's the one who most willingly wants it. Nikola doesn't want it. Nikola does not want to be the poster boy for the NBA, even though he may be the best player in the league the last half decade. It doesn't matter. If he doesn't want it, he doesn't want it. They could have gone full throttle behind Giannis. But once again, there's a foreign factor. The best players in the league are from the world, not from the United States. So get over yourself, Adam Silver. And in some ways, the face of the league may have to be an international player because the American players just aren't as good. Let's just put it that way. I think that's the biggest problem with this right now. Yeah. Both are clutch clients. Yeah. We went over that. Yeah. Kessler was saying fans across different eras are hard to keep happy. Yeah, but it's not about keeping me happy as a fan from the 80s or 90s. I am actually happy with the way the NBA has changed in the recent years. The parity is fantastic for the league. I like different champions every year. I don't like dynasties. And I like the fact that every team has a chance to compete at this point. And it's not a league of haves and have-nots where only a certain handful of teams realistically have a chance to win the championship every year. It's wide open, and this is the best the NBA's been in like 20 years right now. So old head like me can actually look at the trends. If they're paying attention, they didn't get totally turned off by the product in the last 15 years and still stuck with it. They see that it's coming back around the right way. The defense is getting better opportunities to actually play because the rule changes. It's much better product out there on the court than it was 10 years ago, for sure. So I appreciate the changes, some of them that Adam Silver has made. And an old head like me who loves the 90s basketball is liking the trends that are coming right now with the NBA because it's a little bit more old school and it's a lot more like, they're not prima donnas that just are lazy and kind of just play half-assed and they're not really trying. We know they're trying now. And that may have been the biggest knock of the LeBron era is it was a lazy era of isolation play and not trying hard and just being goofy. and not really doing basketball the right way. And that's the thing. A lot of younger fans don't realize this, that the LeBron era is one of the worst eras of team basketball and effort on the court. This is why the All-Star game got to this point. And, good basketball was way better in the 80s and 90s and even in the early 2000s. And then it went all wrong. Really, when Vince went to New Jersey, things went downhill, and they weren't totally right until more recently. So, and if you're a young person and you only know the NBA from that period of time, you have no idea how much fun and competitive and how much better the NBA was in the 90s to a certain extent. It's kind of what I'm saying right there. It's kind of what I'm saying right there. That's right. Let's see. Kareem saying release the Shamshay and Epstein files. There you go, Kareem. All right, that's funny. That's funny. We'll give you a dunk for that one, Kareem Thomas. You got a 27 now. You got the Jamias Ramsey 27. Jamias Ramsey 27. Wow, that's a deep cut right there, Lex. That's right. Good morning, Rapid Freak crew from the superfan Monique Lawrence. Yeah, Monique is going to be going to the game tomorrow night to represent the RFF for the New York Knicks game. And I hope she brings that good vibe, energy, and we get out of that building with the dub. So salute to the superfan Monique Lawrence and her dedicated, passionate love for our favorite team. That's right. That's right. Fiercely saying former Raptor news. That's why I shared Harper. You know what it is? It's not you. It's fine. It's just that I didn't know he was on that team. I was like, is he on that team? That's weird. Yeah, it's totally fair to bring up. It's just that I overlooked it and I didn't realize it. And I'm like, I don't care. In some ways, I'm saying I don't care. It's not that you brought it to me. It's just that him being on that team to me is not that special or important to me. But I'm glad you reiterated it so that I knew, because I was like sleeping on, oh, Ron Harper's on the G League team. Okay. Kaz is here. Good morning to Trucker Kaz. So it's okay for Wemby and Osura Thompson to get blood clots and come back to their team, but not the Raptors players. Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. Like, it pisses me off. I know that they're higher level players, they're top draft picks, but still, isn't there some sort of like way to do this for the lower level players, like a second round pick, like these guys? Like, it just didn't seem fair. It's like it just seems like oh, it's the Raptors, nobody will care. But no, we do care, because we do care about the Raptors. And there are people out here that do care about the Raptors to the extent that they want questions answered about the fitness to play panel. And maybe they don't understand that. They're sleeping on that. They didn't realize that about us, that we do care. We're not half-assing. We are in third place in the Eastern Conference right now, a half game above the New York Knicks. So when we play them tomorrow, this will be a very important game for wrestling for that third spot in the East. I'll have the preview for the game tomorrow with the Knicks tomorrow morning. Also have a preview for the second game of the Raptors 905 versus the Osceola Magic, which will be going down tomorrow also. Y'all, if you have a fantasy team in our fantasy league, get your lineup set. We had the first night of action yesterday, so get your lineup set. I'm playing Gerald this week. I got to beat Naco the Nacho and get my big dubs in my chat. That's right. Let's see. Do we have any breaking news on the Raptors this afternoon? Let me see. No, I don't see anything right there. Let's go ahead and do the classic card. All right, let me get it. Good trivia day. I'm really proud of you guys with the Marc Gasol trivia. It was good stuff earlier. All right, here we go. This is the card I drew. This is the card for today. Full name answer on the classic card of the day. Right here, guys. Who's that ref back there? Man, that guy's I don't know that ref. I don't remember him. But yeah, this is an easy one. You guys should know this one. Larry Johnson is right. Kaloy's going to get it today. Kaloy beat you. Slug Deezy. Fast fingers, Kaloy getting in there for Santino and getting the classic card of the day. It's an easy one. I can't give you a lot of points for this because Grandmama is very recognizable as an all-star and a marketable star from his era. But Carlo JS is going to get this one today. I'm going to give you 50 points for it. I don't think it's that hard. I think that's a pretty recognizable player. I mean, he's in Space Jam, for Pete's sake. But yeah, Kaloy, you're getting the 50 points for Grandmama. Yeah, there he is. Good old Larry. Back when his back was still good. Yeah, look at him. Look at that smile, man. Look at that smile. He's so iconic, man. I used to love Larry Johnson on the Hornets. I was more a Larry Johnson guy than Alonzo Mourning guy. I never really kind of liked Alonzo, even when he was very good for the Hornets. And it wasn't even because he got traded to us for Vince. I didn't like him before that. Yeah, that's right. Hornets were respected back then. They were a very good team. They had some really cool playoff battles with the Celtics and the Pacers back then. It would be like Glenn Rice. Yeah, remember Glenn Rice on the Charlotte Hornets against Reggie Miller, and yeah, Larry Bird was battling the Hornets franchise, and that was like probably their best era, honestly. If we're getting real here, Hornets Nation, your heyday and best era was when Dell Curry, Muggsy Bogues, and those guys were on your team. For sure, man. They were respected. All right, y'all. Thanks for watching me today. I'll be back with the preview of the Knicks game tomorrow. And I appreciate everybody playing trivia today. Let's go, Raptors. Raptorize your day. Do the right thing, like Spike Lee is saying, and be a messenger of love and light and good for the world, and not bring the darkness and the subjugation that is underway in the United States that is messed up and wrong in all kinds of ways. You know, there's little things that are happening, power of the people, and people are being heard, and things are happening, and things will change. The people need to continue to wield their power and show that they are the ones that are the nation. It's not the politicians in charge. They're jackals. They're assholes. They're messed up. And the power of the people. That's what I say every day. That's right. Resist. That's right. And ICE, abolish ICE. I'll say that also. All right, y'all. I hope y'all have a great afternoon. I'll see y'all tomorrow, 9:30 a.m. I'll give you your trivia scores in the next 10, 15 minutes in the chat comments, in the comments on the stream. All right, let's go. Oh, wait. Straight goods on Canadian goods. The Little Potato Company. For little potatoes that you can cook up and eat. This is a company out of Alberta. If you see the Little Potato Company, know you're supporting Canadian business with the Little Trios. Yeah, so Little Potato Company. All right, I couldn't forget the straight goods on Canadian goods. Let's go, Raptors.